La 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 la. Going on here live on a Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Katie's here.
Wednesday.
Sounds exciting. Glad to have you on the show. Welcome to Shanahanigans Live, one and all, on this it's been a while. It's been a whale of a tale, folks. It's been a time.
I was going to start blogging about this on Tumblr, and then as I opened my Tumblr up, I was like, I don't know what I follow, what I'm going to accidentally be sharing on my screen. So.
Oh, really?
On the other monitor.
Should we like keep it off you for now, or what are you up to?
No, it's all good. I was just like, I don't know if there's going to be nudity.
If you want, alright, should I just click me for now? Or like,
yeah, maybe do that.
Okay. To avoid nudity, you get to look at me and sing the song of our people. Is
it.
Three. And
broadcasting.
It's time for Shanahanigans. If you're at home, join in the song. Unplug your headphones and let your family hear.
Broadcasting.
It's time for Shanahanigans. What are you gonna do today? What you up to?
I'm gonna color.
Okay, let's go to color. Oh, I missed the button. Last call. And Shaggy is gonna tell you a story for free. For this whole week, I guess Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or just Monday, Tuesday, and now has been the week of E3.
Very nice.
Electronic Entertainment Expo. It's all like kind of fun, you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Yes.
You good? Is your camera safe?
Not yet, but keep going.
Yeah, is it recording?
It's broadcasting.
It's time for Shanahanigans.
You can end it. It's okay.
Are you ready?
Just start. Just start. No, just go. I'm just pulling. Start the show.
Circle of Shanahanigans Live. Welcome to the show, Shanahanigans Live. We open the song with the music just to wait out the fakers and the liars who can't stand the accordion. They claim they can. They're like, oh, I can handle it. But when it hits them, they accordion run.
Oh, nice.
That's right. We've got puns. We've got artists and animators like Katie.
I'm an artist and animator.
We've got jobless writers who are trying to get away from motion graphics, like Shaggy.
Hello.
He's trying to run future. We also have, this episode is not brought to you by, but I'll bring it up anyway, David's Summer Teas. Iced teas that are nice teas for you. David's iced teas. This one's a strawberry something. And it's nice because it's like normal tea you make and you're like, it's hot. But now you dump a ton of ice into it and you can share with your friends because it's in a pitcher and it tastes not like iced tea from Lipton's.
Mm-hmm.
Taste the summer. I wish we had sponsorship. I'd have so much fun. We got Jim Crone saying Freebird, and I'll tell to you, I don't know the words. Oh, I could play Freebird, I just don't know the words. That just makes no sense. Andrew Murray says, I think the short hair and beard is a good look for Shaggy. Just to clarify, whoop, this was my birthday gift to myself.
Where did it go?
I know. I cut my hair once a year. And it's a fun experiment if you guys don't do this. If you guys are like, oh, it's November, I should cut my hair. You know, I don't roll that way. I just do it once a year because I like to let it grow out from the summer just to see what it does by the winter and cut it all off. And you get to see, the coolest thing, too, is when you take photos of yourself and stuff, you get to see, like, you evolve and change. And you can, like, make, like, highlight reels of, here's my hair short, here's my hair long, this is my life on Facebook. And everyone will be jealous. Earlier, Andrew also said, woo show, with a vote of 2. Right. Got Matthew Pachard saying, glad you guys started at 9 p.m. I just made it home from work, thinking I had missed half the show.
Oh.
Well, fortunate for you, Katie was busy as hell.
Fortunately for you, I also ran home thinking I missed half the show, and then like, oh, he hasn't started.
I was contemplating
I
doing.
kind of was like, just start, because I don't have
Yeah,
any energy, but I'm feeling better.
there you
That
go.
was good orange juice.
Oh, good art.
Okay, I'm off Tumblr, so there's no danger
No
of...
nudity of any sort. Tumblr, more like Bumbler. I see bum on Tumblr. Yeah,
Pretty
watch out for
much.
that, kids. Tumblr is dangerous, man. You're gonna be at your school being like, "Hey guys, I just got this new video game Tumble blog thing," and then all of a sudden, all the things you follow pop up, and they're like, "Oh, terrible."
And normally you've got no qualms on your own, but then suddenly in an environment where there's a lot of people, you're like, oh wait, maybe this isn't.
Yeah, this is why like people these days have like 2 to 3 different Tumblrs. Like this one is clean, and this one's dirty. Oh, so dirty. So many chiclets. Tyler Man just made it in time. And Yaiba says, Wednesday, Adams!
Yes.
Because today's Wednesday, I guess. Sure. I haven't watched Adams Family in a while, so maybe they're relevant again. And I'm like, whoa, shit. I'm going to put past them. Ladies and gentlemen. Well, first of all, Katie, how are you? Let's learn from each other, our lives.
Oh, I'm good. It's my last week at a current contract, so I'm kind of just what's it? What's
Entering the schlubby mode.
That and well,
which is not an easy trip. It's usually the
no,
hardest trip
it's
is
just
entering
kind of
schlubby.
it's a lot of I don't want to say burning the midnight oil because I'm not pulling all-nighters, but it's a lot of just put the pedal to the metal and you're just going full speed trying to get as much done as well as you can with the time you have left. And
Power through, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit worn out, but I've got just a couple more days, and then hopefully I'll be able to put more time into Silly Kingdom again instead of it just being my weekends and evenings.
Right. Elizabeth Welch also saying this timing works for me. We got all these West Coasters, so now it would be 9, 8, 7, 6 p.m.
That's true. Instead of too late.
Yeah. So like you just got home from like you got out at 5. I'm pretty sure Portland traffic is really too bad unless there's like a unicycle blockage or something, right? Like Portland traffic is probably pretty straightforward, but still, I could see it being take the time to get across the city. Lots more chat popping up. We got Sky McLeod saying, "Wait, do you know how to play Shaggy? What, the accordion or like play people?" Like all in this big puppetry game. I'm like, yes, it took me 17 years, but finally we have a Google show.
Yes. At last.
The plans to fruition. Next up, Prophet. Last minute we're cramming. We got Maya H saying, yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
We got Tyler also pointing out, that page of Silly Kingdom looks amazing.
Oh, thank you, Tyler.
Yay. So Katie's doing something right.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. It seems like is your signal like cutting out or something like that? I keep losing your screen.
Oh, really? Weird.
Like if you talk and I'm quiet for a second.
Blah blah blah. So I'm working on a page from Silly Kingdom and I'm inking it. Is it cutting out for you?
I don't know. I keep seeing just like your Shanahanigans ball.
Oh, I just see the Shanahanigans. I don't know. How about viewers? Let me know if I'm cutting out. And you can't see.
Yeah, we haven't actually done the little sync clap test that we used to have to do always in the earlier seasons. So you guys running out of gimmicks. The better our show gets, there's less audience participation. We got Doris Garcia saying, "Will you two of you be attending Anime Expo or just Comic Con?" I don't think we've ever been to Anime. Where's that? Is that in LA?
I think Anime Expo is the one Kel was mentioning in LA.
That's a big one, isn't it?
This year, no, but we hear it's a good show, so we're thinking about it maybe in the future. But not this year. I'm going to be, once again, super busy this summer.
But Doris, if you're going to Anime Expo, tell us like what's your take on the Artist Alley or the, or if you know anyone selling comics there, ask them how it goes. And the question more specifically, what sold better for them? Stuff that was based on anime or original stuff? Because that's kind of like the one hang-up we sometimes have about bigger conventions is there are a lot more... People tend to be a lot more excited for kind of like known properties versus original properties, and that's why we're kind of like.
And just personally, I'm trying to phase out the fan art a little bit. Not that I have really like, no, you should never do it, but Like I would like to focus more on the books, and it's when you go to a con that those don't really move, but the mini prints move. I'm kind of like, nah.
Yeah, because the mini prints have like recognizable characters and stuff. You have like a Soul Leader character, and you have a Korra, a recently very popular gem in the holograms. You had,
Yeah.
but like those ones would sell nicely, but like then your own books wouldn't because people are more interested in. It's just the nature of the con. It's kind of like people come there for the brands they already are excited about and want more of, and any
Yeah, I
fan.
totally get that. It's just for us, I feel more comfortable. I think doing the indie book.
The caps. Anything with cap in the title, we're all about. We love the T caps, the Van caps. Hopefully the me cap. I haven't been.
The mean calf.
The mean calf. Me calf. My day, of course, is interesting because
How was your day?
Well, as I explained, I have a buttload of time on my hands these days. So now all the last few weeks have been kind of like either schlubbing around or, finally,
Stupid word.
Yeah, I love it. Getting stuff together and like, doing convention stuff and things. But now I'm like, you know what? This week, no editing, no audio, no video. It's going to be all time writing. And this is like my test to myself. It's been tricky. Because usually I kind of like jump around to like multiple things and like, and the interesting thing is with me writing, like I basically spent the past Monday and today, kind of Tuesday was kind of a E3 day, but we'll get to that in a sec. Just writing scripts for upcoming comics and stuff like that, and just sitting there. Well, technically standing. I made my own little standing desk by just stacking like shoe boxes and putting my laptop.
Nice. I'm actually standing at my Cintiq right now. I have the arm extended all the way up, and I'm just standing and toting because I've been sitting all day.
Yeah, I have this like yoga mat down here too, which I was standing on all day, and it's a different experience. But at the same time, I find I got something in writing stuff to get over because I don't tend to do huge long days of writing. My writing bursts tend to be like a 3-hour max kind of deal, usually in the middle of the night. But today I was like all day, all I do is writing, and like I find the weird thing is it's not a writer's block thing, it's just a boredom thing where I'm like, I don't want to keep looking at text. I want to look at like more visuals, stimulating stuff, something happening, So I just like I just lose interest in telling my story slowly on paper, basically, or whatever it is. So that's something I got to kind of get over. Now, I don't know if that's like a telling of the quality of the story I'm writing. It's not like, oh, this is a boring story, but it might be more of, in my head I already know it all, and I've already written out the rough notes, but it's like, now I gotta do it again, and like,
I don't know. I mean, I listened to the Q&A with Jeff Goldsmith, and it's interviewing screenwriters for mostly movies, and like he had one, and he always asked the question like, what are your writing habits? How long do you write? And I find like I don't know. It seems like it's structured, but it's not structured into like a 9-hour workday. Like most people go to work and sit down, do their work, and go home. It's like writers. It's almost like they have 3 really good hours, and then the rest of the day they're just kind of futzing around the house, like But then you have your really good chunks, and then.
Well, that's kind of, there's those moments where like I get caught up and I'm just like in a storm of writing, and it's kind of like everything I wrote is connecting now. And it's like, oh, this leads into this. I didn't even mean for that to happen. Awesome. And then it gets to the part where it's just like you're just describing stuff happening. You're like, he's walking down the hall. There's another character. It's daylight.
Well, maybe you need to find it more interesting. Maybe the scene's just not interesting.
Oh, no, the scene's great. But the problem is I've already seen it like so many times in my head, I feel like I'm already done with it.
I get that. Sometimes it's like with a comic, too, or a storyboard where I'm like, is this scene not done yet? But I have to draw
I've already seen it in my waking hours complete. Why don't other people see it done? It's like, oh, because I haven't drawn it yet, kind of thing. It's kind of like that, probably. It's the thing that gets me, where I'm just like, oh, I just want it to be on paper from my brain. I already have it all drawn out,
Well, until that technology is developed.
Doris adding on, Anime Expo is now held at the LA Convention Center, which is where E3 is going on, I believe. Where would you like me to go? I usually visit Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged with little Kribo. Cool.
Nice.
But I've seen other original artists there at the Artist Alley. Like, that's just that. Like, that's where we would either be. We'd either be in, like, maybe not Artist Alley if they have another section that's, like, isn't there sometimes 2 sections where it's, like, creative, like, comic makers and then
it's, like, Exhibitor and then Artist Alley.
Yeah. It's like, okay, so that's slightly different, because Exhibitors kind of cover, you could also be, like, selling product. Well,
it's like when we were at Emerald City Comic Con, there was Artist Alley, and then Exhibitor could be Dark Horse, could be cool fancy nail art stuff. It's just a variety.
Yeah.
different exhibitions.
I haven't followed up on too much of the Lil Crevo stuff. Like I kind of began and ended my love with that Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged movie through time, with the three different Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters in one movie, and that thing was phenomenally well written.
Ridiculous.
I had such a good time watching that. But like then after that, I went back to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Ones, which is like his earliest work, and we all started kind of rough, and I was just like, because I'm like, it was so on its game by the movie that I'm like, this is amazing. Like these jokes are just jaw-dropping, these callbacks. Like if you haven't seen it yet, watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelers Through Time, whatever movie abridged. It's one of like the funniest anythings I've watched. It's so smart, and it's just got ridiculous humor. Tyler was asking Taffy.
Taffy.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it more close to the end, of course. But Taffy, the Toronto Arts and Animation Festival International. That's this weekend, coming up in the George Brown area. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
George Brown, the place?
It's on the Taffy website, but it's George Brown's waterfront campus. So it's close to the Chorus Key building. I haven't actually checked the map yet, but we'll figure it out.
Is waterfront as in when the water used to come up to there in like the 1800s, or is it like actually by the water?
Well, I can actually figure this out right now.
Like Toronto is like a receded land. Like the water used to actually go to like the street called Lakeshore meant something once.
It's Chorus Key, George Brown College on Waterfront.
Waterfront.
There should be actual.
While I look that up, we got Doris.
51 Dockside Drive, Toronto.
Dockside Bars.
Dockside Bars.
That's a throwback. Oh, one of my favorites. We got Doris also saying, for the two of you, Shags, you just answered one question about getting through boredom. But how do you manage to get past the boredom block and on to creating your artwork? I haven't been able to sit down and draw because I do that a lot in school. Kenny.
You are asking a question I live every day.
That's how you make the dollar bill.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to work, it is very much that it's.
Oh, it is by the water. Shoot.
Yeah, I'll just show you right here. So I'll get to your question in 1 second. But yeah, basically it's like Sherborne, and then you just go down. So actually, it's pretty close to my work. I could just.
Yeah, from like right after.
So yeah, it's where the big chorus building is. The Nelvana and all of them are now. So if you want to go to Taffy, this is it here. Yes, but to answer your question, it's a struggle. You just have to. I mean, when it comes to work, you have to understand that the thing that separates a professional from a hobbyist is you have to make yourself do it, even if you don't want to. And that's kind of showing up and getting it done. I mean, I might not always feel like working on an animated project, but I've signed up to do it. So you got to go in. You have to put in your time. You have to be. Give them the best you can. But for doing your own projects afterwards, it gets really hard. And that's why Silly Kingdom's taken so long to get done. Because, I come home from a long day at the studio, or I pull a lot of hours from home working on a work board, and then I'm just so tired. And it's hard to motivate yourself to keep going. But I don't know, it's one of those things, if you can make yourself do it for 5 minutes, just tell yourself, I'm just going to start for 5 minutes. Just give yourself that amount of time, and it might turn into something bigger. If not, at least you're chipping away at it every day. So it's kind of like you're building up that muscle. You're not able to maybe finish an entire personal project in a week, but if you do an hour every day or 10 minutes every day, you're getting that much closer.
I liken it to the pile of laundry that's in your room on the floor. Now, you're sitting there being like, I have so many better things to do today than to put away laundry, so you don't do it, and the pile's there basically all week. However, if you, in that same amount of time, decide just to put away 1 or 2 articles of clothing per day, gradually the pile would go away. And in the same amount of time where you would have been living with a pile, you're living with a decreasing pile, and then you gain the ultimate accomplishment at the end of the week.
I also have a really weird laundry analogy. I think about it a lot. I've got this weird method where when I'm folding laundry, I start folding stuff, and then I get bored of folding, so I'll start putting it away, instead of folding everything and then putting everything away. And I wonder if it would be faster if you just folded everything and put it away. But I don't know. It seems like one of those things where I'm like, this is kind of like how I work on projects, where it's like I pencil in a couple pages, I ink those pages, I got to pencil some more, and then you're going back and forth instead of streaming all the way through it. And I'm just like, would it be faster if you just did one aspect? If I just folded all of them.
kind of like with the laundry, it goes into like the whole gamification. You gotta like add a story and rewards for like each thing you put away. It's like,
Well, I
oh,
mean,
yeah,
that's
you gotta put away 10 pairs of socks. Stat. And you're like,
yeah. Or you're like,
and then
every
you have
pair
like
of
a
socks is
story element.
$1.
Yeah, so maybe like if you want, all right, so I don't know if we're talking about art or laundry anymore. If you want to get your laundry
We've
done,
crossed the...
add a story to it. So it's like each sock is either like an ammo clip or it's like a chart of the Triforce, and it's like every time you put it away, or like consider there's like this like Gears of War berserker outside your wall like rushing through doors, and the more socks you put away and shirts, it fortifies, and then you run to the next wall kind of thing, and then you're like your closet's the escape pod that you gotta like put energy cells into before you can jump in and go. Hey! And all of a sudden you're done your animation project. There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you finish the scripts. But I don't know. Like my method of getting through the boredom. The problem is I haven't had too many, anything that was actually a writing job. Most of my jobs have been video related. And if I have to get video done, I'm pretty good just sitting there being like, just like
but you're not doing creative.
cutting at it. Yeah, it's fairly cookie cutter in that respect. But like when it comes to writing, since I haven't been paid for like an hourly writing thing yet, like I've had paid, anthology contributions, but it's not like it's you got to be done by 5 and then start again at 9 tomorrow. It's kind of like I'll be done at this day, sort of, kind of. And I'm like, all right. So when I get the wave of inspiration, then I'm like, as opposed to sitting there being like, when is inspiration going to rain on me, or or forcing myself, because usually with the amount of time that we're given for anthologies, I'm allowed to have those days where I'm like, I just don't want to write today. And other days when I'm like, I feel really good about it.
I find
so
it
I've gotten away is the problem.
I find that for me, it still comes down to having to make myself, because I feel like when I was in my teens, maybe, like I was always just inspired to make comics all the time. I just wanted to keep creating. I was super excited for it. And I find now it's like I'll feel that, but I have to make myself do it because I'm never mentally prepared to start. Because there's so many, what if this doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? What if this turns out bad? It's like I have to just sit there and, like I said before, just be like, you know what? I'm just going to start thumbnailing for 5 minutes. You know what? I'm just going to start penciling for 5 minutes and see what happens. And then that 5 minutes turns into a couple hours. But it's like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've just naturally done it. I kind of have to, like, make myself do it. And then it's fine. But, just having to come in with the discipline.
Well,
but again, I think that's just the side effect of just working at a creative job. Your creative juices run out, and you gotta make yourself. Yeah.
Like the other half is remember to give yourself breaks.
That's important. It's so important.
I talked a long while ago about my 1545 system, where basically I wrote for 45 minutes or edited for 45 minutes, and then I got 15 minutes off to do whatever, be it like chores or just stretch or lie around or play a quick iPhone game or something. And then after that 15 minutes is off, that's been a full hour now because we had 45 working, 15 of messing around. And then the next hour begins, and for some reason it was a very refreshing system. Like, it felt good. It never felt like, oh god, I'm going to be here for another 5 hours. It was like, I'm going to be here for another 45 minutes. I get to like eat an egg or something, drink a glass of something, and walk around, stretch, then come back. And it was refreshing. It was healthier because I was standing every once in a while. I wasn't actually hunched for like the whole whatever. And it worked. It felt like the work was a lot more casual, a little more like a spring day with a wind chime lightly dancing by the window.
And guaranteed, even if you're running a crazy deadline, you'll be more productive if you take that break. And you might think, oh my god, I don't have enough time to take a break. But if you can just walk away from your desk and take a walk for 10 minutes, you'll come back a lot more refreshed than if you just force yourself to sit there all day.
It's very much like when you're in the laundry room and you're running out of detergent. Actually, no, thinking it's more like any of those like rally racing video games when you are the friggin' NASCAR, when you're driving around and around, you're like, oh, I could go into the pit and like soup up my car and make my wheels better, but I want to keep racing because I don't want to fall behind, and then eventually your car gets too slow and falls apart, and you have to go to the pit.
Yeah.
When you intentionally take that break once in a while, it will make your car stronger and win the NASCAR. And that's a different analogy for you guys. A little while ago, Andrew said, "Woo, standing desk for the win." It's not even an official standing desk. Right now, it's 2 copies of Betrayal at House on the Hill, a shoebox, and a hard drive.
I wonder what you're going to do with all those
I got games. We got a lot of different directions we could go with this. Let's go for votes. Right now, we have a topic breach, guys. This is going to change our topic drastically. We got a couple. We got one about Disney, one about E3, which we do want to get to, and we have one professional question about printing books. Vote up! If you're on the Google Plus right now, your vote counts. You may think to yourself, nah, I'm not going to vote. Rock the vote. I've been watching those ads before every YouTube video with the lady in the yellow dress who's like, don't let people tell you how to vote. Vote for me. And I'm like, interesting. And all those other ones were like, Susie McWhatever thinks your children should not be in school and instead learn battle. And it's like, oh, how dare, or whatever.
Battle.
Slander campaigns. But then we're sitting there thinking, it does sound a lot like Hunger Games. That could be cool. Okay.
No.
We got voted up to 3. We got Matthew Pachow asking, have you seen the new... you guys also keep your questions up. We'll get to it. We like to address all queries. Matthew asks, have you seen the new games for E3, like Super Smash Bros. Wii and Batman and Arkham Knight? It looks pretty awesome. Which brings us to E3 coverage 2014. I have the hat. You there, okay?
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
E3 2014. Have you guys been following the news? Have you been on the IGNs, the game stations, the GTs, the everything, Spike?
I gotta say, just being someone on Twitter who doesn't really know what E3, like, when it was coming or anything, Twitter was really confusing, because it's just people yelling, yes, oh my god, oh, over and over again. I was like, what is happening? And then various video game names, and I was like,
oh my gosh. This has been one hot E3 for Nintendo. We haven't seen the likes of this in a while. Nintendo brought out the big guns this show. First of all right, let's go back a bit. Let's talk a little bit about everything. Let's be fair. E3, Electronic Entertainment Expo, once a year, the time when all the hottest games are showed up, and secrets and surprises and pissing contests, everything you can dream of happens at E3. I know some people who are at E3. More people than I'm comfortable with, because now I'm sad that I'm not at E3. But that's the next show. I've done the Comic Cons and the San Diegos, so one of these days I will be at E3. That's my next big goal.
You can get it.
And they have to be press or like a creator. I'd rather go as a creator.
Jason, take me as your name.
Yeah, Jason, say you're making a game. Let me be your voice. I do have a credit in a game that like friggin' Adam was working on.
There you go, done.
Good. So I'm a video game. I'll be on my resume. The point is, hot E3, because last year's E3 was exciting in one way or another because all the big systems hadn't come out yet, so it was a big pissing contest, as I said, and it was all about who can one-up each other. So exciting in an adversarial way, but this year was a whole different ballgame. No more of, there's talk of exclusives, but it was more about, hey everyone, let's shut up for a second and actually make games, because every conference was showing off, what do we like? The games. None of this, hey, we have a sports video player, and hey, aspect ratio. No, none of that mess. Let's take a look at, I have nothing to show you, but let's take a look at Xbox. Halo Master Chief Collection Edition coming out for your Xbox Ones. Do you like your Halo? Do you have them in all different systems, on all different discs? Well, no more. Coming to Xbox whenever the hell on Xbox One is the complete collection of every single Halo game. One with the remastered, Halo 2 remastered, and now with multiplayer online co-op for the main campaigns. 3 and 4 are basically the same damn game because don't change what's not too old yet. But the big news. Every single multiplayer map you've ever played in a Halo game will be available and in their original engines. So if you like to snipe from across the screen with a pistol and get a headshot in the original games of Halo way back in Blood Gulch, game on, this is for you guys. I am excited. Not that it's exciting to, hey, alright, let me lay this out for you guys. Halo 2, in my argument, had the best campaign of any Halo. Halo 3 had the best multiplayer of any Halo. Rebuttal. Haven't you played a round or two with me?
Me? What was the question again?
Halo, alright. Moving on!
I haven't played much Halo.
Xbox exclusives, I don't have a list, so I don't know. But that being said, Xbox showed up, a couple of games, and people were excited, and fun on a bun. EA had a show too, Electronic Arts, one of the most hated companies, but at the same time they release something once in a while.
Why are they hated?
Yeah, they do a lot of dickish moves, like they buy out smaller companies, then collapse them, and then you never see original games again. But neither here nor there. They also do come out with a couple nice things every now and then. Namely, we got some sneak peeks of Mirror's Edge. Don't know if it's a sequel or a prequel or a remake, but it's happening, and it seems to be in a comfortable enough place that there's going to be even less gunfighting, hopefully, and it's all about free-flowing parkour, first person, running along the rooftops as Faith, who delivers a package or two because people don't trust the email. excitement can be found there. EA's show was also kind of strange because a lot of their content was mostly kind of behind the scenes, where it's like, oh, you guys, you want your Star Wars Battlefront? We're like, oh, yes, we do. It's like, you want to see some gameplay? We're like, yeah, we do. Like, well, you're not going to see that. What you're going to see is the happy people who are working on it. And it cuts to this guy who's like, going behind the scenes was fun. It was breathtaking. I'm making a game, and you're like, ah! I want to see the game. It's been years. Because Battlefront 3 was almost complete and canceled. And then EA bought and Disney. And it's really the whole Lucas thing. Oh, speaking of Lucas, ladies and gentlemen, one of the best announcements from the PS3 PlayStation conference was LucasArts had a lot of awesome games, but they're tied up in a lot of bizarre red tape with companies and stuff in Disney. Sony, however, has done something awesome with their connection with Disney, helping out our buddy Tim Schafer. Grim Fandango remastered on the PS4, coming soon. Grim Fandango, one of the most renowned, the end of an era of the point-and-click adventure game titles, is coming back, looking even better than ever. And even with that new Book of Life movie coming out from, we didn't get to talk about that last week, but Del Toro's Book of Life, it looks visually stunning. And with Grim Fandango coming out, it's going to be a year of skulls and stuff doing things.
Love it.
Very exciting news for that. I don't know if that will lead to any other re-releases, because a lot of the old Tim Schafer games are tricky to get your hands on. No news on like a full throttle re-release or something like that. Anyhoozle. All right, covered Xbox. Beyond that, yeah, nothing really jumped out at me in Xbox. PlayStation, Little Big Planet 3 is coming out. Looks cute. We have a new dog who's like a sock. He's a dog.
Oh, nice.
He's really fast. We got this guy called, oh god, he changes in between a big guy and a small guy, and that's like for puzzles and weight and stuff. And we have a little flappy dude, the bird. So your friends who really suck, the bird can pick them up and basically fly them through the whole level, and it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Little Big Planet was always a series that it was basically the system seller for me for the PlayStations, because there's never really any PlayStation games I was head over heels about outside of like SingStar. But man, that's Little Big Planet was looking really cute, looking really cool, really awesome. Okay, so that Ubisoft also had a show hosted by Aisha Taylor. You may know her as Lana from Lana from Archer. Funny person too. We saw her live down at the Royal. Great show. I was so glad to see that. I should have got my dolphin signed from Archer, but I didn't. I was like, no, I don't want to be that again. I suck at game signing. It's awful. I should never try. It sounds like they had a good show. A lot of silly stuff. Assassin's Creed Unity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something I've been wanting since Assassin's Creed multiplayer and Brotherhood. Finally, we have 4-player co-op. All 4 of you running around the French Revolution. We've got beheadings and stuff happening, and it's up to you 4 to run around in crowds and wear cloaks. There's a green guy, and a blue guy, and a white guy. It's basically like New Super Mario Bros. You're all the Toads. It's great.
You're all the Toads.
There's Luigi. And it's yet to be known if each assassin has their own personality, or if you can play the game single player and their AI, or if they have their own campaigns and you kind of like play as each of them and learn new stuff from different angles. That'd be kind of interesting and very Resident Evil 6. But all I care about is finally 4 assassins, all real people, your buddies running around, and this is France, apparently Paris made 1-to-1 scale. So if you've never visited Paris during the Revolution, now you can go everywhere. What's this? You're like, oh, I'm tired of climbing buildings. I want to go in them. Well, you're in luck. Just about every single building has an interior.
Oh, finally.
Stairs. People. A new feature. Walls.
Whoa.
And even ceilings. So check that out. Very exciting. Sorry, I'm just like blasting through like my mental notes. Of course, as always, you got your Call of Duty updates, which is the future. You have, what's this coming out? Battlefield, which this time is a cops and robbers type game, so there's like 32 of you trying to pull a heist. I'm all for a heist game. Never played one. Let's see how this goes. Now moving on outside. That's all you got your, this is the year of the beheading, apparently. A lot of games have a lot of beheadings in this Dismemberments. Not terribly often that happens. Nintendo. They had a wicked awesome show, mainly if you're a fan of Smash Bros. And anything Zelda related. Let's quickly hit on the show itself. Robot Chicken animation interstitials was done for the Nintendo show.
Yeah, it looked fun.
A lot of cute, fun stuff there, as well as the opening fight scene between, I believe, is Iwata, president of Nintendo Japan, and Reggie, president of Nintendo America. These guys are definitely having one of the most ludicrous presentations. Definitely worth watching. If you haven't seen it yet, Tumblr and is bound to give you all the hot details on that. Games, all about the games. Smash Bros. Did deliver. New characters announced. Even just all throughout the weekend, they're doing a lot more. Pac-Man was just announced last night. I don't really know the Kid Icarus series, but new character from Kid Icarus is in it. Lady with the green hair. There's an anime cutscene for that presentation of Pit fighting Link, fully animated.
Yeah, that was gorgeous.
If you haven't seen this, this is us being like, Nintendo, make 24 of these and call it a season of the Smash Bros. Anime. And I want it. I don't need a plot. I just want characters and I want them all fighting. And I'll be happy. Oh my gosh, if they made more of those, they might have to. They should. Other new characters, who else was announced that day? Someone was announced in the morning, I thought, and someone later. I'm lost. Either way, at the end of the day, too, they also had a Smash Bros. Invitational tournament. First time ever, we all got to see the games played live in tournament format at this big old show, and I think it was either the Sony Center or Panasonic's amphitheater. I don't know where it was. But it was fun to watch while making chicken burgers. Lots of action, lots of excitement. Smash Bros. Is looking really hot, and of course the 3DS version is coming out sooner. But the interesting thing was all day long they kept releasing more stuff for you Zelda fans. First of all, we had the cutscene, the anime cutscene with Link in it, which is pretty awesome. We've never seen that before. It's cool to see Link in anime form, hookshotting a winged dude in the sky and pulling him down to the very earth to defeat him. We also have Hyrule Warriors. You guys are like Dynasty Warriors. Hyrule Warriors is that, but with Zelda characters. And right now they revealed Zelda as a playable character. She's got magic. She's got swords. At the end of her trailer, she pulls out a grappling hook, and all I can think of is Mabel from basically doing the exact same pose, grappling hook. Basically, yeah, she's holding it like Link does in the show.
It's adorable.
And I haven't seen anyone do like a Tumblr comparison yet, so that's bound to come. I think of all these memes, but I don't make them happen. It's not for me. Someone else can do it.
There is stuff like that where the other day I spent an hour looking for. I'm like, there has to be a GIF of the Disney princesses pulling up in a car, being like, "Get in, loser, we're going shopping," and it took me forever to find it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should make one.
Yeah, basically, why not? So there's that Hyrule Warriors, big cast of characters. There's Impa. There's what's the one from Twilight Princess? What's her name?
Midna.
Oh my gosh, it's looking fun. It's looking like it's not looking chronological or nothing. It looks like it's going to be grabbing characters from all over because there's actually a huge roster of main characters to play, and we only know of like those 4, maybe a few more, a couple of villains too, of course. And in this case, Link has this kick-ass blue scarf, so watch out, cosplayers. It's scarf season coming up.
Practical and delightful.
If those two things weren't enough Link for you, they showed footage of brand new Wii U Legend of Zelda coming out soon, and started with a really wide field shot, giving you that feeling of a very Bethesda type game. Or is it Bethesda? Maybe not Bethesda. Who's the one who does Skyrim?
Gorgeous. Oh,
it basically looks like Link Skyrim. It was just this huge landscape, mountains you can travel to in the distance without any of those, fade in, fade out. Link is leaving an area and shows up in another area kind of deal. All one continuous environment, looking big. And footage shown of this character with the blonde hair and the ponytail jumping off with these weird kind of hybrid wooden and technology electrical arrows. And the funnest note was way after the director producer noted, "We never said that was explicitly Link." Making all of us go, "Ah! Ah!" So we'll see. It's always been the Legend of Zelda, so who's to say there has to be a Link in it?
Yeah, that could be Zelda.
Could be a young Zelda too. Who knows? We'll see. But it could be some other character, or like some people were thinking it could be a child of like the Skyward Sword characters or something like that. So it's like continuing in that world because the art style's a little similar. But either way, if you're a Zelda fan, this has been Hot E3 for you. Top it off, Nintendo also revealed those amiibo figurines that are very much like the Disney Infinity or like the Skylanders stuff, where you take a character and put it on your controller and stuff happens. It looks like there's going to be one for every Smash Bros. Character. So everyone's going to be collecting at the very least 12 of those each. But there is upwards to 30 or 40 characters in that game right now. It's nuts. The Smash Bros. Is hot. Speaking of which, Smash Bros. Event was today in Toronto. And by event, it meant there was one screen in the back of the store with one copy of Smash Bros. And 4 controllers that everyone was lined up for all the way down the street. I checked it out because I know it was also happening Saturday at that Best Buy in Toronto, Yonge and Dundas. And I'm like, it's probably going to be even busier Saturday, so I went for this one. And I got there like right around maybe like 3:30. It started at 4. And the line was still going like not all the way to Yonge or nothing from Bay, but it went quite a bit. And we're just sitting in the line for a while, and one of the guys we were near was like, "I'm just going to. I don't even want to play it. He's like, I just want to like see what it's like." And he walked in the store. There's no. There was definitely a line for playing, but there's no one stopping you from just walking in and watching.
Whoa.
And so we all decided, like, you know what, this line is crazy long. I don't know how long it's going to take. So we all just went in to watch. And we actually just had a lot of fun standing behind the people playing, behind the lineup, and just like laughing and like, you know, people are going nuts over the final smashes. Like they redid when the Mega Man final move happened, and like all the generations of Mega Man show up in the background, and you lose your mind. No, it was it's looking fun. I got to try out the Smash Bros. For the 3DS. That's also looking good. I don't know, Nintendo has a strong E3 so far, methinks. They revealed a new original property called it's called Splat something. Splatoon or Splatter, or maybe Splatoon. And the idea is you're kind of like these humans who also turn into squids, these little kind of cute characters. And the idea is you all have like paint guns, and you're trying to like cover the whole map and all the territory with your color, while the other team's trying to do that too. But the paint that you splash on the floor, you can turn into a squid and like dive into it and dive out of it to move even faster. But if you get shot with the enemy's color, you like lose. And if you walk in the enemy's paint, you walk really slow. So it's looking kind of like a neat little like kids, you know, Team Fortress-esque, you know, take over the hill. It's supposed to be like a bit like a MOMA, massive online.
M-Porg.
One of those like one of those Dotas and LOL things that everyone's playing these days. I'm afraid I would enjoy those probably. I haven't done it. All right, that was the big E3 update. There's probably a lot more, but I don't want to bore you guys who don't care about video games. Oh, we also got Jim telling us Mii's are in Smash Bros. Officially.
I'm looking forward to that.
There will be Jesus fighting Hitler, of course, because people have made every Mii. Yeah, as he says, people basically made every Mii that there is. So you can be in your games too. Like when me and Katie were posting a little while ago, that both of us were actually in Mario Kart, driving around. Now we can also be in Smash Bros. As one of 3 different kinds of Miis. There's brawlers, there's a sword one, and there's a
sword.
Yeah, so you can like, you okay over there?
Oh yeah, I'm finished this page, so I'm just gonna start inking. I'm just moving stuff. I'm trying to be quiet.
Here's some really old tech support, which is actually a little. Tech support saying, message from tech support: the silver tape on the door trim behind you, is that duct tape? If it is, it may leave some residue. Or pull off the paint when you remove it. If you need no damage gaffer tape, I have a roll. I think I have gaffer tape. It's far from no damage. Yeah, maybe I should use that. Okay. Thank you, tech support.
It's not just computer stuff. It's just it's life support.
Life support. More E3 stuff. We got Chris saying Nintendo was winning E3 hands down. And definitely, you know, if you're a big Nintendo fan, of course, too, because Nintendo's been needing a little bit more love lately. We far from, you know, I don't know if they called it a failure just yet, but far from a success that the Wii was. The Wii U is a little lagging behind, but could be some boost with a lot of these high-hitting games. They're still not getting a lot of third-party support because a lot of companies are saying, both Ubisoft and EA, which are the 2 biggest, you know, third-party companies, are saying like they won't support the Wii U until it gets more popular, which is a great ironic circle because you need to sell games on the system. Yeah, anyway, it's complicated. Maya H saying, I've only been interested in Mass Effect 4 and they didn't reveal much about it, mostly scenery. I haven't really cared about E3 beyond that. That was once again EA's game. They were really just showing behind the scenes for everything. It was not anything really to bite into. They're like, here's Mirror's Edge, people talking about it. And here's Star Wars Battlefront, here people talking about it. And here's massive people talking about it.
Maybe like instead of footage, they just stream Shanahanigans live.
Basically, yeah. You guys might as well watch this at E3 to call it the same damn thing.
You're like, I'm so excited for all this stuff.
Well, it's kind of like the same reason I was getting pissed off at all those Paperman behind the scenes because they're like, this Paperman animation is revolutionary. I'm like, show it. I'm like, no.
Because they're trying to get you excited about it.
I'm like, I don't want to hear about it. Give me a taste. Like, here's a sketch. It's revolutionary. I'm like, well, it's a sketch. How's it revolutionary? He's like, we're not going to show you. I'm like, Well, then stop telling me how great it is. Like, I'll wait till it's ready. Jeez. We got Tony Cliff. I don't know when he wrote this. He says, "Tell us some of your ideal sponsors, like for this show."
Yes.
Not, like,
Well,
supply.
because earlier you were talking about sponsorship.
Okay, like I want Billy's hammocks. Billy's
hammocks would be amazing.
Come on and hang out with Billy, and then I do a sequence back on my hammock. I'd be like,
have to come with a hammock.
I'd be like, I used to do a live show without a hammock. Now I can't do one without a hammock. Billy's hammocks. Like, that'd be great. Sponsorship. Oh, I want Nintendo to sponsor me after all that praise. Jeez. You'll see me wearing a Microsoft hat, even though it's green, so it could be. Nah, I like them all evenly. The truth of the matter is people are only, like, really dedicated to the console war hatred if they have just one of the systems and that's the one they have to support over the other to make sure the decision is right. Because if you're like, oh my god, exclusive to PlayStation is this, and someone on Xbox is like, that's shit.
You kind of got to the heart
of it.
You've gotten to the heart of any kind of online internet or any kind of debate on any form of.
Jim Crone saying EA's conference was kind of underwhelming. A lot of look at these assets we're making. This could be a thing one day. Also, there's just like a lot of sports stuff too. So if you're in the sports, good. But the weird thing was a message. Let's go to the learning part of the program. Theming, or making, a lot of the shows were really like all over the place. It's kind of like, oh, here's a shooty game on Xbox and everyone's dying, and then it's like, and here's an art game about two lovers in a galaxy separated by time. You're like, oh, that's nice. And here's Mortal fucking Kombat where people's hearts are being torn out. You're like, ah! It's like, and there's Milo Pilo, a cute little story about a dog and a sock. You're like, ah. It's like, here's everyone dying and their heads on a stick. You're like, ah!
It's like they were thinking that, oh, you just alternate it instead of trying to go with a build-up
It'd
way.
be like, now we're into the M-rated section of the program. It's like, here's a little big plan. You're like, oh my god. It's like, here's someone's head. You're like, ah! Jeez, E3, what is this? Not so at Nintendo. It's more like, here's something cute and charming. Here's something hot and charming, like Link. Here's something cute and delightful, like Toad. Ah! Here's something amazing, like more Link. You're like, oh! And it's like, here's something that's Smash Bros. Related, but has Link in it. You're like, oh! Good show.
That's pretty much my reaction. Because I came home like, what's happening? And you were like, I have the highlight reel for you. And then you showed me all the...
I basically just showed you Nintendo.
Showed me all the Link stuff.
For you animators out there, the game you want to check out is called Cuphead.
Yeah,
oh my
that
gosh.
looks awesome.
Coming to Steam, it's a side-scroller game done in the styles of like 30s cartoon animation, very Betty Boop, or even earlier than that.
It's like the Silly Symphonies. And...
It is verbatim looks like you're playing the Silly Symphonies. It's like fully animated. There's the color channels.
Old Technicolor.
Yeah, the color channels are a little separated, and there's scan lines and stuff. And I'm like, we've reached it. This is the point where we're literally playing cartoons. We've seen South Park: Stick of Truth. We're seeing Guacamelee. Now this. Yeah. This is like legit an animated character you're playing. Not to say like Street Fighter and stuff wasn't, but it's like we never got to the point really where like the animation was never too pixelated. Like I know there was definitely like once again the animation in Third Strike is fantastic. Similar with like Guilty Gear and games like that and Blast Blue, but it's like they always still kind of had a pixelated look from their compression. Where else like this is like it looks like exactly like a cartoon come to life. It's incredible. So that's your check out. Games of the show, Katie. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to more Zelda and more Link.
Ooh.
Oh, I also want to fight as a Mii in Smash Bros. And use a sword.
Yeah, there's a good thing you brought that back. Someone else mentioned the Miis again. Where was it? Someone said something about the Miis. Who said the Miis?
I did.
Oh, you were in there. No. Someone else said, oh, is this it? We got Matthew saying, are you, Katie and Hess, going to team up your Miis in Smash Bros. As a deadly Shanahan trio?
You betcha.
That'd be cool if you had the sword, I had the fists, and Heather had the cannon. And it's like...
Yeah, that works.
Shanna team. Shanna Smash! Oh my god. The only downside is apparently in online tournaments you can't use your Miis. Because apparently they're way too customizable. There's like a lot you can do with them, and that would just like make things insane. But my argument is this not the closest thing to one of those like build a robot and fight with people? Like I want a separate Mii tournament to be like, how well did you build your Mii? You know? Because the interesting thing was in Mario Kart 8, when you use your Mii, its weight class was dictated by how tall or wide you made your Mii, or like age even. So my Mii plays completely different from Katie's Mii. Because Miami's kind of tall and thin, and hers is like this pudgy, angry thing. So like we'll handle differently no matter what vehicles we have. So even if we both use the same car, we'll drive differently because we're different weight class and characters.
Oh, I suppose so. That's why I'm able to knock Bowser over.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to be the case with the one on Melee. I think everyone's head is kind of put on the default body. But yeah, there it is.
In the future, though.
I'm going to scroll through to see if there's anything else video game related. Move on. Nintendo in a moment doing a no-stream event. Wait, what? We got Drew saying Nintendo is, right this moment, doing a no-stream event about a new IP. Not Splatoon, but something called Codename Steam. Nintendo also hinted at, I don't know if they had any footage, but they mentioned Star Fox, they mentioned Project Giant Robot or something like that. And if there's a new property, like I'm all for it, because Nintendo, as well as they treat, of course, their beloved franchises, which they've basically been living off of, it's always nice to see them try something different, because Pikmin was a nice surprise, and it's led to like a neat franchise that people enjoy. So I'd be curious to see what else Miyamoto's got cooking and all the other members at the Treehouse and the Nintendo team. Because there's some good folk. All the game studios have good folk. You gotta let them be creative. You gotta give them that Amnesia Fortnite. Codename Steam. I gotta quickly scroll through. I think that's about. Oh, and the last big thing I remember was Mario Maker.
Oh yeah.
For years, we've watched people make their own awful, impossible Mario levels on hacks on PC. Now you can make it a reality right on your Wii U. You design old school Mario levels, which can also flip instantly to the more modern, new Super Mario Bros. Design. I prefer the old kind of design better. It's a lot more iconic. But make your own ridiculous levels, impossible levels, fun levels, silly levels, or levels that play themselves basically once you hit a red shell and it just destroys everything. So that's coming out 2015. Looks fun. I'll definitely be checking it out. Unless there's anything else to say about video games. Anyone? We're good? If you want to also try out Smash Bros. Yourself, you can check out at your local Best Buys. I think there's one in Mississauga, there's one in Toronto. Look up Best Buy and Smash Bros. They may have a better setup, but the Toronto one was kind of tricky. There's like one screen and like hours of people in line. And it's like a 4-player match for 4 minutes. Yeah, fun to watch though, but we realized if we didn't run inside, we would have still been outside by the time we left, and it's like, forget this.
Yeah, that's kind of a suck.
Okay, let's look at some votes. Uh-oh, we got a tie for 4. One of you can beat this 4-voted question. We either go to Andrew or Drew. Andrew or Drew. You guys can vote for that, because I like to. Meanwhile, let's take a quick look at some ones. Let's see. There's people responding to each other, which is going to be tricky. The internet's famous peeps do well at AX, right? Says Angie Murray.
Hi, Angie!
Do internet famous peeps do well at AX? But they have to be internet famous.
Oh. Aren't we like D-list? We're D-list.
Are we D-list?
Right? At least D-list, right?
I might be coming up at E at this point.
I like E-list. E sounds good. E's a nice letter.
E-list celebrities.
Celebrities.
Awful. It's tragic. We got a lot of people vote at 4 right now. We got a Drew question, a Tile. Is this a question? No one seems to be reading. What to... Oh, man. All right. You guys got to vote up your questions. We got 4, 4, and 4. This is like Smash Bros. They got 4 stock. Who can make it to 5? Not how the game works, but let's just put it that way. Angie's also saying, in regards to Anime Expo, I did Anime Expo in 2009, and they did not really go for the original stuff. I had to drop the prices drastically and bark at people like Carnival Hawker to get anything off my hands. Has it changed? And the question also attends to, is Anime Extreme, or Anime Expo, I assume you have to pay to get in, which will affect people's wallet choices. Because the CAFs, I'll tell you, if you're doing a TCAF or a VanCAF, absolutely free to enter, and people want comics. They want original shorts and stuff. So if you give them the pitch, they're happy to buy from you. Because it will happen once in a while, but I find at the caps it's less that people be like, I'll check it online first. It's like people are here to risk. They're here to drop the dollar.
Or like, do you ship? And I'm like, yes, but it's $10 shipping. All
right, quick tip, kids. Canadian shipping has always been a pain in our side, but now it's basically gone up 200%. In the case of our dainty little $5 book, Silly Kingdom, if we want to ship it to the States, It's now an extra $10, right?
What? No.
$7?
$10?
I thought it was 10 from 7.
No.
5?
That's
What
for
is
the
it?
Shrub Monkeys.
I thought so Silly Kingdom. All right, you take this conversation. What's up?
Okay, well, basically, to ship a Silly Kingdom, it costs us $2 to send it to Canada, about 3 to send to the States, and 5, but going up to 7 to send overseas. And then we recently shipped a Shrub Monkey, which is a $10 book, and it cost me $10 to ship it, and it used to cost 7. So, and then if we want to ship it overseas, it costs $20. So the book is $10, shipping's 20, and there's no alternative. There's nothing else I can do save show up at your house with the book.
Because like, is Canada Post the cheapest of the cheap? Like, there's
That's
no
all we
like
have. It's Canada
budget
Post
shipping
or FedEx or UPS or get on
But those
Amazon.
guys are more about speed. They're not about convenience. It's not like, ship it cheaper if you don't
But,
want
I mean,
it there
I tried
for a
to
month.
ship the cheapest possible with UPS, and it still feels like it's about $30. So yeah,
it's rough.
Yeah.
So once again, kids, if you're freelance, keep an eye on your shipping costs, and this may soon be a web-dominated industry because it's getting really expensive to ship books. Unless you get yourself a publisher and they do it, so screw that. Let them, that's what they're for, guys. Andrew Murray winning with 6 points.
All right.
I like the Super Smash Bros. Thing with Andrew. So it'd be like Super Andrew Murray writes. Did either of you read that response from Tom Bancroft regarding to someone asking, how do I get into Disney?
I didn't read it, but I saw people posting OMG and posting it, and I was like, I will not follow your clickbait.
Oh, was he being dickish, or
I have no idea.
Nice thing?
I don't know what it means. So I have no idea what it's about.
Andrew, your question failed.
Andrew, explain it. Andrew, get on Google Plus. Get on Google Plus and explain it.
He is.
No, let us talk to you live.
Oh, you mean like get on the camera?
Yeah, get on the camera. Andrew, can you go live on the show?
Yeah, right back to us before
Can we invite him? Oh, Frank, can we invite him? Can we put you on the show? Will you be our live person?
Andrew, do you have a webcam?
Andrew, be our special guest.
Andrew. Meanwhile, that's happening. Let's just look at a couple of the smaller questions. What's he saying? Best note I got from a director, says Andrew Murray earlier, was real life stuff is greater than stupid Flash cartoon.
Wait, that was from a revision note?
What's real life stuff? What show is this?
It's like a revision. It's like my life.
Why isn't this live action?
Better than this cartoon.
Stupid Flash. Alright. Weird. Some weird folk in the world. Tony Cliff writes, regarding... Oh, man, you disappeared. Where are you, Tony Cliff?
Tony, come back.
Tony! Regarding laundry, what are your opinions on fabric softener?
Oh,
Downy? Downy? You thinking Downy?
Downy,
is softener in addition to just the wash, or is that the dry has a softener?
Oh, the softener is afterwards.
What is it, like a sauce? Like, where's it go?
No, I think the softener, there's...
Is it just like a sheet? It's
not the lint thing at the end, right? In the dryer.
Well, yeah, there's that little sheet.
Oh, softener is like an extra. It's like that little teddy bear.
Yeah, but you don't shove a bear in the dryer. What makes it soft?
Well, I don't know if it's not a bear.
So you've never used? Have you used softener?
No,
these are the questions people want to know.
I've gotten it before free when people hand stuff out in the streets, and then I'm like, where does this go? So, Andrew, get on live so we can talk about fabric softener.
Tony Cliff, we need you online for fabric softener tips.
Tony, be our special guest.
Falling apart without you guys. Oh my god. We also got Chris asking, have you looked into Subable or Patreon? For what?
I have been looking at Patreon, and I think that is definitely something I'm confident I'd like us to move towards. I don't know what our special stuff, extra bonus stuff would be right now, because I can't...
It would be more work, that's what.
Yeah, I can't do special commissions or like special stuff only you guys can see, because I can only put in time for what I have. But I'm thinking about it. I'm plotting. I'm plotting plots. I think when we're able to put out some more content that's web related more, then we can do a Patreon. But for print stuff, it's kind of weird to... I don't know. It's like, support me while I'm making this thing that you'll buy. I don't know. But we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Great question.
Really quickly clarify for Galaxy. Yes, we're siblings. End of conversation. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on. Andrew says, can you invite me?
Yeah.
With a vote of 3. Oh, then with Andrew, we can tackle these questions as a team.
Yeah, let's do it.
Of question answerers.
Let's do it. Let's
Andrew
get the
Murray.
guy with a pencil.
The heart of gold. Katie. Sniper.
Yes.
And sleeps in also, so she doesn't have to get near the battle. She only snipes from her bedroom window, in fact. All
with a comic
happen outside her bedroom window.
And a tea.
And Shaggy yells at people with an accordion. Together, they make Super Answer Question League.
Why am I sniping people?
I forget how we got to that part.
You guys are answering questions and I'm just murdering? Why? How is that happening?
I don't know how we got to that. I think these violent video games are getting to me.
Jeez.
Andrew Murray, we sent you an invite. Andrew Murray, will you join us tonight? Andrew Murray, your hair is looking fine. At least it would if you were on my web camera. That's the end. Round 2. Andrew Murray, and you, we have our faith. Andrew Murray. Faith. Blythe. Is there a word that rhymes with, like, people don't know what rhymes with orange, but what rhymes with faith?
Oh, like a wraith? Like a ghost?
Wraith?
Wraith?
Ooh. Right now he's acting like a wraith.
Oh.
Because he did not accept our invite.
Saruman is very displeased.
Right. I'm going to try again. Andrew Murray, I'm sending you my invite.
Why is the summons working? The old gypsy woman said it would work.
I summon Andrew. Jesus, what's wrong with this Google Plus? Andrew, are you not getting these invites? We got 2 questions voted for 4, guys. While we're at it, you guys may want to crank those to 5 because this is dangerous territory. Dangerous. We also have people having a little conversation here. We got titles saying, Katie, how do you keep track of sort, name, and organizer art files on your computer?
Badly. I'm trying to do it by date now because date's easier to find stuff, but usually just file name. Each year I have a different folder for doodles. So there's like the 2014 art folder or Katie's drawings folder, and then it's just everything I draw that year goes in there. But then I also have a comics folder. Each comics folder has the individual. Like, let me show you how. Okay, this is my Silly Kingdom folder. It's just okay. This is my desktop. I'm not the most organized person in the world. And then there's 2 screens, so there's more of this on the other side. But when I open up the Silly Kingdom folder, so this is my working Silly Kingdom folder. Right here you see there's the cover. I have pencils. My final is what I'm working on right now, but I also separate the inks and the scans and the tones so that if I ever wreck a page, I can always go back. And then I have just a ton of reference, and it could be a lot more organized, but it's kind of one of those things where I know where the clutter is, so as long as someone else doesn't have to deal with it, then we're good.
Andrew's wondering where the invite comes from. When I invite you to the show, where do you get the message?
I see it in my Gmail, the little bell up top.
Do you think it's in... Oh, wait, it's not even in like a category? It's its own thing?
It's like when you go to Gmail, there's that little alert bell for what's happening with your Google+. Does Andrew have Google+?
You didn't get an email, you're saying?
No, it's not an email.
Oh,
but
Andrew, it's not an email. Look for the bell, Andrew. Look for the bell. Find it and find your future, Andrew.
It's weird because when you first sent it to me, I didn't see it. I had to close my Gmail and then open it again.
Andrew, close your Gmail. Close it and open it again.
Actually, if he's watching the show, he might have to not watch it to do it, and then it would not be fun.
Oh, this is scary. Man, it was so much easier when our surprise guests come like from an airplane ride over and just show up on our show.
It's easy when they show up from Portland just to walk through our door.
We got Chris Cater with stats saying, Katie, you're slowing down your computer with all that on your desktop.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh. No.
You should make folders.
Yeah, I know.
Andrew's saying, I do.
They're all
try
important,
again.
Chris. They're all important.
Golly, Andrew, I've sent you so many invites. How many more could you possibly want? Dear Andrew, I'm sending you an invite to join our show. I've literally just sent it. If you do not see it this time, I'm coming after you. Sincerely,
Who
Host
could
of the
just show
show.
up at your house with a laptop?
We sort of know where you live.
We have a general idea.
We have a vague idea of what happenings in the park near your home. We got Terrell and Drew still at 4+. You guys, you got to break the
You really gotta
tie.
make these guys battle.
Every vote counts. I want to get to all the questions, but whenever it's a tie, I feel bad. Unless it's a tie for one, because what does that
So
mean?
you just don't answer either of them.
Yeah, well, these ties for ones, I think it's like a conversation with each other. Let's go backwards. Doris says to Angie Murray, it depends. Let's go all. What's that movie where they do everything backwards?
Memento?
Memento.
Mentos?
Mentos.
Fresh maker?
Yes. Terrell says, wait, Tyler, what? Terrell, what's going on? Making it. Make 100 pages and then worry about your audience. If your story's unique and awesome, readers will. Oh, I think they're actually responding to something that like we were supposed to answer. We'll answer too, though. We like to talk. That's what we do on the show.
Make it! Good job.
Andrew, if you're not getting this invite, I don't know what to say. Andrew, what are we even talking about
with it
anymore?
before, though, too, so.
Yeah. There.
You know what? If it doesn't work, it's okay. We'll figure it out next time.
Oh, well, enough of this. All right, we got voted for 5. Drew asking. Boop. Got a real serious professional question for you.
Oh, dear.
Who do you guys print with for Silly Kingdom? I'm getting close to needing to print my book, Snowbound. You remember it? And I'm looking into options.
Let me see. We're kind of looking for new printers, too.
Make a chili bar?
Yeah, for Silly Kingdom we went with TPH, but I'd like to maybe work with people who know comics a bit more. They've done good work, but I think we could maybe get it a little bit cheaper. For Shrub Monkeys, we went with OTC Printing in London, Ontario, and they did a good job. I don't know. I would say just kind of, we're still in doing our research process of it. So, I mean, that's the only 2 names I really know, but I mean, just see what's I mean, you're doing like a more specific kind of manga style book, so I don't know where would be good to print that, like something that size, like especially if it's a bigger volume, if the pages inside are a lot. So I don't know. I mean, just for now, just kind of Google like Toronto Printing, or I mean, again, we only know like 2 printing houses, and we're still figuring out. So I mean, all I did was ask around. So yeah, just keep looking around for something that you think will suit your project, I guess. Because I could recommend to you what we do, but it's like we're looking to change anyway, so it's not really I don't know.
Is there like a quick way, just a message or I don't know, guys. I don't know about this thing. My bell wasn't shaking, he says with a sad face.
Aww.
This is Google Plus, man. It's like every other time. Like even sometimes when I try to invite Katie to the show, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, you haven't been able
before
to.
the show even started.
It might be because it's going now, though. Like, especially if it's
No,
like you might not be able
sometimes
to.
they like lose a guest. They're like, oh god, what happens to my guest?
Here, you chat, and I'm gonna see what I can do.
What can you do?
I'm just gonna see what I can do.
What can you do? I'm hosting the show. What can you do?
Oh, good point. Nothing.
If you have an easy way to message him, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna open. Wait, where's my chat? In the chat box. Okay, do you see this text box? Go chat.
One sec. What text box? Where am I?
This invites him. This code.
What's happening?
Go to your
Where
Google
did you
Plus
send it?
left corner. And
Oh,
there's
that would
chat
do it.
box. Copy and paste that and see if that invites him directly. I have no idea what's
Why
going on.
have a chat box?
Top left corner, it's a blue box that has like a chat thing. It's in your video
Oh!
screen. Okay, let's go through some questions while we're here. So you answered all the printing and stuff? You good?
Yes. Okay, so Andrew, where do I send this?
Best way you can. Moving on with 4 points. We got Terrell saying, hello, Shanahanigans. Nobody seems to be reading my webcomic. What to do? Wait, what happened?
Andrew, I'm going to Facebook you. Look at your Facebook messages, Andrew. Andrew!
Oh, God, Andrew.
Oh, sorry, I'm right in front of the mic.
What to do if you're... so some of the other guys down there, I think, were talking about this in the chat. What to do if no one seems to be reading your webcomic. I guess the questions come down to where are you posting them? How accessible are they? How shareable are they? May be a big thing too. If it's like a complicated thing where like sometimes even like when you put your comics on DeviantArt, but you put it in such a way where it's only like a download only thing, we have to click this or find that.
Yeah, and you're not
That's
sure
like
what's
an
happening.
extra step, and people are like, I don't know what's going on. Where's it? What's this? So
The funny thing is, when we started with our comics, it was DeviantArt that helped propel them out so much, because
Yeah.
DeviantArt was really super popular when we were doing. Oh my God! There he is!
Ah! Andrew Murray.
Everybody, it's a guy with a pencil.
I don't have a pencil. I feel
Andrew
so
Murray's
unprepared right now.
It's Andrew Murray. It's Andrew Murray. All right.
I don't know what to do. I'm so unprepared. I don't have these pencils with me.
Andrew Murray. The question on everyone's lips or minds is fabric softener. What you rocking, buddy?
Bounce sheets. Throw them in right after the wash, and then
It is
you
the
know, turn
sheets,
dry.
right? Yeah.
I use the sheets.
Well, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Well,
doing
thank you for joining us, Andrew Murray, on this episode of Shanahanigans Live.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Oh, that was Andrew Murray. Fabric softener by trade. Wait. Now we'll keep you around a little longer. Andrew Murray, how has the Blue Jays on your hat been doing this season for the sports fans out there?
They were doing pretty good, but then they lost their series against the Minnesota Twins this weekend, so that was kind of disappointing. But other than that, they've been having a pretty good season so far. So yeah.
Now say the exact same sentence, but describing the Toronto Raptors.
They were
They're
doing
pretty
good, I
good
guess.
a lot of the season.
Yeah. How about them Raptors?
Sounds pretty much like it.
Yeah.
Very similar. Toronto has all these like hopeful stories of sports where like it gets somewhere and then it stops getting somewhere. Oh well. Good story.
Good story.
So
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking about
totally.
promotion, right?
What? Promotion?
Promotion.
Oh
How do you-
yeah, okay. Sandra Murray. We got the youth of today are wondering, they're making a webcomic. They want to get it out there. They need more viewers and readers, but no one seems to be catching on. Is this about where it's being promoted, how it's being promoted, the content itself, the art style? What do you think? What's some tips for the kids?
Alternatively, people are making a podcast. How do you get
I was
that
going to
promoted?
say, like, well, if you want to know how to succeed with a podcast, I can totally help you there. I don't know anything about, a successful comic.
Let's adapt your comic experience. How have you been promoting your comic? Are you not? When I say comic, think podcasts. How have you been promoting your podcast?
We make an episode, we post it on Monday morning, and then we shoot it out on Twitter telling people to listen. That's about it. We are
Tip one,
really,
Twitter.
we're really not professional in any way, shape, or form.
All right, so now we gotta go a step back. How did you get people to follow your Twitter?
I don't know.
Well,
It
that
just sort
becomes
of
the chicken and the egg, though, right? Because people
No, I
follow
know-
your
I know
Twitter
how
because
it
you
was.
have the content.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, we posted a link to our Twitters on the podcast site, so I think maybe eventually people who would find the podcast would just be like, oh, okay, I'll just follow on the Twitter, because usually I'll get an update through there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think that's
Okay.
what it was. Yeah.
Those seems to be the two methods. Have you heard from any interviews you've done? Because you do a show where you talk to a lot of people who are, outside of going onto shows and talking about their product, do push what they do in other ways, be them games or comics. Have you heard any stories of what other people have been doing? Has that ever come up on a show?
No, not exactly. I mean, I think I think we've just been talking to people, and they just sort of give like their experience, like I do this, and they don't really kind of have like a set method to do it, because there's just so many avenues now.
Oh, I thought you got cut off like so many avenues. Like what? What kind of avenues?
No, that was the
Oh
end.
no, that was my done. I'm done.
There's just so many of them.
He just puts his head down when he's finished the topic.
He's like, I'm done. New question. So,
It's like,
Terrell,
good night.
look for those avenues. There's so many of them, according to Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, you got social media. You got nobody really uses the older methods, I would assume, which would be like getting a what are they called? They're in it was in that Strip documentary. The guys who basically go out and that would go to newspapers, the syndicate. They put your stuff on the syndicate and like get your stuff out that way. I don't know if people really do that anymore.
Because that method's dying out, so it does
Yeah.
feel like the web is very much the way it's out there. But I mean, for us, it was just kind of like 6 years where we were just putting stuff out there and just being accessible.
Yeah.
and just making things and chatting and being around. And then, I know with you guys, every week you have someone new you're talking to, so that person's fans suddenly are aware of what you guys are up to. And to bring that to Drew, I mean, fan comics and stuff sometimes helps, where it's like you do a guest strip for someone and then they find out, oh, I like this art, or I like this story, who did this, and then they follow you back to your site. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can build it up, but it takes time. Like, you can't overnight suddenly, unless you have like a finished comic that just goes on Tumblr and explodes. It's a build up. It's a slow burn that you build up. And another thing, Tumblr I think is a great place to put comics up too, because it's now the social media choice that just gets shared around.
There's this fantastic book that I bought called How to Make Webcomics.
Oh, I love those guys.
It is such a good book. Like, I mean, for whoever's interested, there is a chapter in this book called Interacting with Your Audience and Branding and Building. So I would recommend it. It's been great reading it so far, talking about everything from like what type of Photoshop files you should use, and also what kind of styles and things like that. Really, really fantastic book. So if you can see this, How to Make Webcomics, it's like $13 on Amazon.
Cool. I'm going to add to the guys who created that book. They have I don't think they update it much anymore, but they had a podcast called Webcomics Weekly where they would just give all this great advice, and you can just listen to it for like a couple hours of some funny guys talking comics. And I mean, if you're like, I don't want to buy a $15 book, try this. Like, check out the show Webcomics Weekly, and then get the comic or the book, because it's excellent. Oh, do we all freeze?
Yeah.
Everybody looks like they're frozen.
Challenged you to saying bounce sheets are not fabric softener.
Who's challenging?
What?
Chris.
Oh.
Pulling you out, Andrew. Tree fight.
Chris, get on the show. Chris.
Send a link.
We might actually explode. I feel like we're kind of
already chopping off as it is. I don't know if this is
I'll try not to move too much.
But I was asking you guys earlier before you invited me. Had either of you taken the bait of reading that Tom Bancroft?
No, that's why we brought you on.
Actually, our answer was we had no idea what it was.
We're
not on the nose.
To explain it.
That's why we brought you on. It wasn't the fabric softener. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So when you guys were like, "What is a fabric softener?" I was like, I don't know. Bounce.
They forget which expert I am. Why do they ask for me to do this?
Yeah.
All right. What's the story, Wishbone? Let's hear this.
Okay, so basically he had a question asked him that said, "Hi Tom, I'm a digital animation student, and I was wondering if you have any tips of getting a job at Disney. That's kind of my one lifetime goal, and I would really absolutely love to hear back from you." And Bancroft replied with this kind of like, I'm not going to just answer this to you, I'm going to answer it to everyone, because I get this question a lot, and the question always kind of comes up with, I want to get into Disney, I want to be animator / character designer / concept artist / it's my dream, basically. And he's like, please ignore any type of snarkiness that you may get out of reading this, but this is what I have to say on it. And he just goes on to talk about how, like, when you ask that kind of question, like, how do I get a job at Disney? He says, you should really have your portfolio in hand with you and just show that person. And without it, he can't really give that kind of an answer to such a vague question. And he's basically saying, like, give me that one tip that'll get me in there, because it's just not gonna happen. Because you could Google that stuff. You could find people who already work there. You can go to the Disney website and I'm sure there's a section, he says, where it says how to submit a portfolio and what we're looking for and things like that.
Yeah,
he's like, that's
hiring,
probably
they show you.
Right. And he said, but the honest answer is a bit more than a tip, and the real question you should be asking is, what do I need to do to be making it as a professional artist at one of the biggest, oldest, and most respected competitive animation studios in the world? And he goes, I'll be even more direct. It's not even knowing, by not even knowing what you're really asking, it tells me you're not ready. The person asking how to become what took me 25 years and looking for just a tip for an answer has a long, long way to go to understand the competitive effort that is involved with this business and industry. And saying, basically, when you're asking, I want to get into Disney, in a sense you're saying, what can I do to take someone's job away from them so I could get that job?
Yeah.
And it's like, holy, and I mean, it comes down, he goes through a whole spiel just saying, like, the only tip I can offer if you want to reach your goals is that you have to draw every day. But when it comes to the business side of it, and it doesn't matter if you're the teenage prodigy next Glenn Keane, if you're not, if you don't even know what's going on, the insides of Disney, I suppose. It's like you're not ready and stuff. It was a really interesting talk, though. People were just like, holy.
So it was making it sound like it was more controversial, but you sound like it's very real. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think that's probably why people were going like, OMG, because they're finally, it's not just like, it's not that one tip that's just like, well, Walt always said if you do this.
Don't follow sugar and a degree.
They're saying just enough to encourage you to keep drawing, but it's not like the real answer that, like, if you're asking that question, you got maybe 5-10 years before you're going to be able to actually do that if you
because there is no correct answer. It's like apply to Disney, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure if you're ready, then you know to apply, right? You're like, I think I'm going to give it a shot. I think I know a thing or two and whatnot. So.
Yeah, but like
I remember even just finishing 10 years ago. I graduated from Sheridan, being like, I'm gonna send my portfolio to Pixar. Let's see what happens. And like even today, I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for them. But me at 21 was like, why not? And then me now is like, I need to work on my layouts. I need to work on my cinematography. Maybe in 3-4 years.
Maybe. I mean,
but like working at it even it's so long.
That's the thing, right? I mean, it's you get this. I think you get built up with these dreams when you're a student that you want to just kind of go and be like, I can do this. It looks so much fun, but really, it's a very competitive business that you gotta.
Those places, especially so, like the big studios. I mean, it looks like so much fun when you look at the DVD specials, but everybody there is mega hard working, crazy.
They do a big music video at the end where they all sing like one take of some song. And it's like this is the funnest place to work.
Yeah, we just talked to. We had a podcast recently that actually it has to get re-recorded because we had a technical difficulty. But we're talking with Colin Jack, who's a story artist at DreamWorks right now, and he's been there for about a year or so. And he said that getting in there and it was kind of like, cool, I made it, I'm here, but there's a level of expectation where they really want to see their artists grow and develop and have real dedication. That's why a place like DreamWorks offers 4-star chefs in their cafeteria because they want to feed you well so that you can stay there and work late into the night. You know what I mean? They want to create as less outside world stuff that you kind of have to deal with so that you can focus on the work. And he said that when he first got there, he was just kind of he was just so kind of blown away by all that stuff, and that he gained like 20 pounds eating this amazing food, just like because you just don't leave. You're just basically working there constantly.
Yeah. Well, that was the Google story. It's basically make your employees as comfortable to be there, and they actually willingly spend more time. They're not rushing out at 5 o'clock. Make it a fun place. So it's both hand in hand. Like it works for like the image of the company. Be like, oh, they have scooters, but it's also like we have scooters, and now we work more because we love the scooters so much, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We have 2 posts from Tony. One that's important and one that's about fabric softener. Which would you rather hear first?
Fabric softener, definitely.
The battle of the balance continues between Tony and Chris. This is vendetta. He's posting a link about dryer sheets and says, I think what you mean is they're not just fabric softener. Shots fired. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. That's Tony Cliff, Delilah Dirk.
The creator of Delilah Dirk, bringing it with the fabric knowledge.
I used to use this stuff in the jug like it was a fabric softener liquid, and you would pour it in with the detergent at the same time.
It would just go into the same hole, right?
Yeah.
Into the whole tub, basin, whatever.
Yeah. And we would do that, but then we just got really lazy with carrying jugs of detergent and stuff around, so we bought the little balls, the ones that kind of dissolve, and then a bounce sheet.
Oh, that's fun.
They're so much more, they're way more expensive, but it's so worth it not to have to lug down 4 flights of stairs of laundry. And
a bunch of jugs of soap.
Super lazy.
More fabric talk to come, but for now we got Tony replying to Terrell, saying, you haven't been updating for very long. Persistence. Keep updating. This is also going back to the original question about getting more people to read your comic. Keep updating. Also, your first page is just a page of text, which doesn't exactly grab a new reader. Often, a lot of people in their website, the first page is the most recent page. And that does kind of show people that you're serious. It's like you have an ongoing thing. It may be a bit spoilerific to a degree, but at the same time, it's like when you go to yourcomic.com, the first thing you see is the newest thing. And that's also for everyone who is a fan. They don't have to dig through your archives. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just basing this on Tony's reports. Rebuttal.
For spoiler things, there's a webcomic I read called Ava's Demon, and she updates, I think, twice a week, and the homepage is like kind of a flat screen with like latest comic, start at the beginning, so you can just catch up with it if you're catching up and you don't get spoiled when you go right onto the main page. Because that's happened to me when I just show up and I'm like, no, I missed 5 pages and now this character's dead on this page.
Not easy.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, I'm not exactly a webcomic expert because I'm not really updating webcomics very much.
I think we got Tyler talking about the book that Andrew brought up. That book is the best book I've ever read. Taught me so much and has helped me get to where I am now.
Oh, good.
Great book.
What's it called again? It's
How to Make Web Comics by Brad
Geiger,
Dave Kellett, Scott Kurtz, and Chris Straub.
oh wow, they all put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they each try
That's a
to
wealth
kind
of
of draw their own
information.
little comics. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So can we talk about Taffy now?
Do you want to talk?
Are you guys going to Taffy next week?
Are you going to Taffy?
Dude, I'm hosting 3 panels with Adam. We're hosting the Bee and Puppy Cat panel with Natasha Allegri.
Oh my goodness.
How to Not Get Screwed by Steven Silver.
Nice.
And the other one is with, oh crap, I always get her name wrong, but she's the head designer at Warner Brothers right now, Jessica.
Oh, Beritsky.
Yeah, Britsky, there we go.
Yep.
Her, and then Dave Cooper from like Futurama, and Steven Silver again. So we've got 3 talks that are happening that weekend.
Nice.
And it's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be a good time, I think.
Oh, that's exciting. And are your panels ticket holder panels, or?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. You have to
the
get...
The market is free, but all the panels you have to have tickets to go into.
Panels, workshops, screenings, I think everything kind of has a fee to it, and it's just probably easier to get the pass, I assume, for the weekend, but it should be good. It should be a good weekend. I'm afraid, it's going to be a little nuts and hectic, but it should be good.
No, I'm excited.
Yeah. You're both going, right?
Yeah, we're going to be exhibiting. Are you there? Did you freeze, bro?
I am there. Just good.
Yeah, we're going to be right beside the Beguilan comics. So we're easy to find. We're 8:15, and then basically if you find Beguilan, we're right beside them.
It's all relatively in the same place. Then look at the map. Does it sound like everything was really far apart?
I think it's all in the same building. It's not TIFF and Chorus Key. It's all that same building. It seems like everything is happening. The Chorus.
I used to work there, so it's all Chorus Entertainment is the building. Nelvana is like the only... Nelvana, Treehouse, Teletoon are all located in that one building. So like their main atrium is going to be kind of where a lot of presentations go on, and I think they do have kind of like a bunch of office and schoolroom type of looking places on different levels, and with George Brown, because the school's right next door, they're going to be using those spaces. So I don't think it has anything to do with TIFF this year. And there is a screening room like on the 7th floor of the building. It's really nice.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's where the slide is, right? And you can just slide down.
Yeah,
the
slide.
I know they closed that off.
It was called the Slide of Sadness by the time I ended there. Because it was set up as like this really kind of like, we're a cool, fun place. And then by the end of it, like they put a gate on it with a lock. And no one was allowed to use it.
So it was only special occasions.
Oh, yeah, whenever like some... like the Red Hot Chili Peppers showed up once because it was the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters showed up once because like the radio stations are in chorus as well too. Yeah. And some guy was walking around just telling employees like, no photographs, please, no photographs of the Foo Fighters, and everyone's like, pissed off, I'm trying to work right now. Like it was just, and then they.
Hey, you there working? You, no photos.
Yeah. Hey, you who just looked up from your work, get back to work. It was. Wow. Yeah, and so the Foo Fighters like go to the slide, and when they get there, it was all unlocked and everything, and then when they they go down the slide, and then afterwards when they left the building, it's like lock the slide back up. The
animator was jamming down there. The
animators all going at the same time.
They clogged the slide. Get the broom.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be open for Taffy though, probably.
Oh.
We got inspirational talk from the one and only Tony Cliff. Say, spoiler alert, Katie, you're ready for Pixar. Don't talk yourself out of it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, true.
Oh.
Shucks.
I'm going to be weird one day knowing that. One day you'll be down and be like, yeah, I knew Katie Shanahan. She just lives down in Venice Beach right now. Or,
Muscle Beach.
Whatever. Yeah. Just
That's
drawing them all day.
inspiration for our Pixar movies, just drawing muscle men all day.
I got this
I remember those muscle men. What are you talking about? You guys, we're all going to no, I'm not going to LA. The best studios are going to get built here in Toronto, and then we won't have to leave.
Oh, good.
That's
You sleep on a pile of lies.
We got Doris talking about finding other artists in comics. That's how I found some great artists and webcomic artists using social media. Katie Shy, thanks to you, I found out about Nameless and the Scientist. It was
cool.
through DA that I stumbled upon your Shrub Monkeys comics. Everything starts somewhere. Smile
Yeah,
face.
exactly. And that's why you have to keep. It's the persistency of putting yourself out there. Like if you just do one blog post, you get no comments, and it's like, this isn't working, forget it. I mean, you just got to keep doing it.
You can make.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. I did a comic like that, and I updated it once or twice, and nobody checked it out, and I was like, well, no one's gonna read it, so.
And I stopped.
Yeah, but I mean,
you can also do the thing. You make your comic like clickbait, where it says stuff like, "I started making this comic intended it to be heartwarming. What I got changed my life forever."
Or you just start making a really popular franchise fan comic like Harry Potter.
Or that, yeah. You do what we did and just rip off other people.
Yeah. You guys gave me an idea. I'm going to do a fan comic of Shrub Monkeys and just, retell your comics through my perspective.
Can I update them on my site so it looks like I'm still updating?
As long as I get the traffic, I don't care.
Hell yeah. Viewer site.
I think the rumble of the dryer machines has come to a close, I feel. We got Chris Cater either conceding or just being polite, saying, "I tip my cap to Tony. The bounce dryer sheets can, in fact, soften clothes.
Oh,
Not
good.
as efficient
Good.
as the liquids, but they can do it. Tony truly is the champion. Fabric softener knowledge." With that, the battle of the bounce sheet has ended. It's peacetime.
I think we have a title.
The battle. Write that down.
Battle of the bounce sheet.
You write that down. Remind me.
Yeah.
It's ended. Battle. Thank you, Tony, for participating in a bloodless war.
I'm just gonna call it the Battle of the Bounce.
You can put bounce sheets in your shoes if they smell too overnight.
Yeah. I like to you can put them in your clothing drawers to just make your clothes just kind of.
Yeah. Sometimes I carry a box with me on the TTC, and if someone starts to smell, I just slip it in there.
I thought you were gonna say rip open the box and put it on your face.
I put it on the I always put a box of bounce sheets on the TTC.
Why is there so much crazy outside in the world, Andrew?
Did you hear me talk about that? The time with the guy, he's like, I'm just going to take you know what? I'm on a streetcar. I think I should take my shoe off and pick my foot. What's under my toenail? I don't know. Why don't we find out? I got all these people around me.
We're good. We're good. Cringeworthy hour.
I don't get it.
Tony Cliff, regarding the comic, don't worry, we're done with the bounce. Regarding comics and saying, regarding the landing page on a webcomic, you guys don't avert your eyes until you click on the first page link? Is that just me?
Oh, like you don't quite focus on it?
Yeah, you cross your eyes when you go to your comic site.
I just look at the when you phase it out. Kind of when you try and look at those images that pop out, where you just gotta let your eyes get lazy.
Wolverine. We've been rewatching the old X-Men on Netflix. It is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen.
Pretty bad. I was
the 90s cartoon?
Yeah, it's awful. Like Jubilee, she's like, "Did you see what she did to the VCR?" It's just like,
she's a mutant.
It's outdated.
Send her to that Xavier school. That'd be great. The dad's just like, "We're sending you to Xavier school. Did you see what you did to the VCR?"
It wasn't even Xavier school. She was sending her to Slate or whatever that guy's name is.
Wait, that's it. Rex, one VCR. They're like, "Do you know how much these cost?"
The dad picks up the phone. He's like, "Is this the Sentinels? My daughter's a troublemaker."
You guys gotta go. She went to the mall. She could be in Radio Shack. They got lots of VCRs.
Always drove me crazy about that show is that there was always some evil traitor family member that was like, "I'm gonna call this in. They have powers." I'm like, why would you do that, little brother? Ass.
Yeah,
they're the worst. Just the worst.
That's why I liked what they did in Days of Future Past, because when they're at Speedy's house or whatever his name is, I think his family's cool with it. Like they know he's a troublemaker, but they're not like Muty, you know. So
Yeah.
It's like as soon as they have mutant powers, it's like just no, you're no son of mine.
I guess in the 70s they didn't know what mutant powers were yet, so they're just like, oh, he's kind of quick. He's a quick one, that kid.
He's on cocaine. A lot of drugs.
Basically.
we thought you were on drugs, but you're a mutant?
Oh, this is much worse.
Maya adding, this shall be known as the era of the peace between the sheets.
Oh!
We're in a time of peace. We have a lot of +1 questions. Let's vote them up to 2 so we can tackle them. We've only got maybe 20 more minutes of Andrew's
I'm
time.
gonna grab some water so you guys carry on for a couple minutes. I'll be right there.
Hi,
Andrew, you're now Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie.
That totally sounds like me.
Hi, everybody.
Do we have a question for Katie? We could throw her away.
Great.
There's got to be something good.
Ask
there
away.
was one, I swear. Okay, hey Katie, if you could wish for any amount of money, how much would you wish for, and in what coin from Galaxy?
Galaxy, I would have to go with about...
Ask Katie. Why is this Andrew talking?
Oh. I guess I would have to go with about, like, $2.5 million because... And I would want it in, I guess, schmeckles. 2.5 million schmeckles.
What is happening?
There's a question asked for Katie. So
Got your back.
Look,
That was such
Okay,
a
did
random
he answer it
question.
well?
it was about how much do you make as a storyboard artist.
Oh, that was right. What did you say?
Whoa. Wait, time out. You just
2.3
said
million schmeckles?
the question was, how much do you make as a storyboard artist?
No, that was a joke because you heard a different question, which was the real one. And Katie's question was a humorous derailment in that she didn't know what we were talking about.
So you played the trickster.
So we played the fool on Katie, yet the trap was set off early by Andrew, who can't see a setup coming a mile away.
And I can't see the questions either, so how am I supposed to know?
Yeah, like he's just going off of what you're reading.
Yeah, I know. You could have been like, I don't know, who likes pie? And I would have been like, oh, hey. That wouldn't have been a question.
You didn't answer that. I noticed you didn't answer that question either.
Matthew Pritchard says, I
Telling.
found Tony Cliff's comic, Delilah Dirk, thanks to Katie's fan drawing of Delilah. You did a great job with the comic, Tony.
Was it
What's the other
Delilah
tip?
Dunk? Was it that?
Was it Delilah Dunk? That was a great
That
time.
was, I think, my best fan art ever.
I enjoyed the Delilah Dunk and the Turkish space jam. I don't know what it was called.
It was
Layup,
the Turkish
good.
layup.
Vote on your questions, guys. They're all ones. That makes it really difficult to look at. Going back.
You guys were just in BC recently, right?
We were for VanCap.
I got a message the other day saying that you know the animatic TO series that happens with the lectures.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in Vancouver now called Vanimatic, and they're starting up their own lecture series.
Cool.
You invited me to that, and I'm like,
Nice.
I don't live in Vancouver.
I like call you up, I'm like, I need some help with some setup tonight, and you're like, I can't really help you anymore. I joined this one instead across the country.
I just fly out once a week.
Yeah.
I'm like on the screen, I'm just giving them tips, like, no, the red wire, no! And, like, pointing the speakers.
So, Animatic TO is on hiatus for the summer. Yes.
Yes, we were gonna have one more, but there were some extenuating circumstances that were not really able to let that last one happen, and it wasn't anything on the lecturer side or anything like that. It was all on my end, but it couldn't happen that day, and everything just sort of fell out of place. So it was like, okay, we got to cancel it tonight, and then we'll start up in the fall when we get.
When everybody's back from vacation. And all that
yeah,
stuff.
we didn't want to compete with Taffy because I mean that just would have been we need a break, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
Too much animation fun. Whew.
Too much.
Delilah Dunk, we got Tony Cliff saying swish! For a vote of 2. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, Andrew and Tony, do you guys play, do you guys have Wii U's?
No.
I was going to say we should all play some Mario Karts.
Oh my gosh. Mario Kart Online! Works.
I'm not up to speed with you kids on your console systems and such.
I wouldn't be on any kind of console if you didn't have them. I just go downstairs and I'm like, what's happening here? What system is this? What's happening?
I have not invested in the next gen beyond the Wii U. That was my decision. I'm like, I'm enough with these guns and violent video games. I want silliness. So I took a break.
I don't know if I can see it. This is the newest controller I have for my system. I have a that's the newest system that I have. Okay.
Amazing.
I guess we've been to Adam's place more recently, so like he had like a lot of games and stuff, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, he's all up on
Well-
everything. He was like, I was like, hey, what are you doing? You know, the other day, and he's like, shut up, E3's on, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
It was E3 literally took up my Tuesday because I had a really good writing day Monday. Then I started watching stuff on Tuesday and it didn't stop. I was like following up on everything, seeing people do their like Jackface did a link art like an hour after the link
I
announcement
love
came
seeing
out.
the fan art coming in as soon as a character's revealed.
Yeah.
People just so fast.
oh yeah.
It's like the
Crazy.
memes and stuff are coming out from the shows too. A lot of crazy stuff for Nintendo. Like Nintendo, as I said before, had a really solid show, really fun. I'm looking forward to what's coming up. But if you ever want to come by, Andrew, you can always play a little Mario Kart. Make
Oh, I'd
little
love to. That'd be
me
fantastic.
Yeah.
4 players.
Ooh. Have you been to the Chateau Shanahan? Yes.
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Okay, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, we got some voted for 2. Is one a response though? I'm trying to see how to look at this. I've never had enough All right, let's quickly go to Doris, but then we'll jump to Eric. Doris is saying to Angie Murray.
Someone actually asked how much I make.
No.
Okay, 'cause, like, that's
That was the
a
joke.
question. Okay.
The joke
Well, they
was.
literally.
I'm gonna read this one. We
Okay.
got Doris saying to Angie, I think, but I've never had enough dough to buy items from original artists. I started to staff there. I think he's talking about Anime Extreme or Anime Expo in LA.
In LA.
There in 2012. But when I had time, I would usually go to the artist alleys rather than the exhibitors area because I wanted to see original work. So yeah, that's the thing. It's just paying just to get in is actually a big chunk of people's weekend, money, because they also gotta get food and transit and things like that. So it's where it's a gamble. That's going after these shows. So make sure you have free stuff to give away to at least draw people
Like
somehow to your website.
buttons.
Like you can do a little, you can charge for like a $1 button or a free button. I don't know, but at least cards. What we got here was this.
Yeah.
Buttons.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Wendy.
There was talk about a possible movie coming.
I got that
out.
retweeted by
Oh,
by
did you?
Chris Miller and Phil Lord. Yeah.
What did you
that
say
was
to
great.
them? It was like.
Oh, I said, where am I? That line. This is a family show, right?
I don't know. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I think I've said a cuss or two, but it's nothing like you guys show where we're like, whoa, no.
Oh, dirty F-bomb, no.
Our show's fairly clean. We got Eric Brown. Serious time. Serious faces, folks.
Serious time. Okay.
I want to be a storyboarder and
Yeah.
storyteller, but I don't draw nearly at the frequency that everyone I follow does.
Mhm.
I used to draw constantly in high school, but now I'm working and writing more and just am not in the habit. Is it okay for my storyboarding goal?
No. You gotta draw a lot.
The hard truth on Shanahanigans Live.
I mean, if you want to do storyboards, that's going to be a lot of drawings because it's you're plotting out everything. You're working out all the
Literally,
acting. You're working out the
whole job
shots.
is
You're doing a
drawing.
lot of drawings. You're also going to throw out. You're like figuring stuff out. And like if you don't really want to draw too much, I don't think storyboarding is the best place for you to maybe go into. You can maybe do illustrative work if you would prefer to kind of linger maybe on like an image longer to go with your writing. But I mean, it's hard for me to recommend pursuing storyboarding if you're not drawing like, and I don't mean like insane amounts, but like more than not enough. Like if you're already concerned you're not drawing much, I think you'll need to do a bit more. Andrew, what do you say?
Well, was the question? Was he asking like?
I want to do storyboards, but I don't draw fast enough or frequently enough as other people online. Is that still all right?
You can get faster though with practice.
Yeah. I would say if you want to get faster, or if you have the opportunity, if you live in an area where there is a lot of animation stuff happening, like my first job was getting being a board revisionist. So I was working in-house under the director, and I was able to kind of pick up speed that way, and then eventually it led me to them saying like, hey, you want to take a crack at doing a board? And I was like, okay. And of course my first board I was incredibly slow at because I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to do and how I was supposed to be kind of finding my own method to make this deadline work for me. So I don't personally, I don't draw enough for myself. I know that for a fact. But I mean, when I am working, I am drawing all day. So it kind of equals out in that sense. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. I mean, that's why you're better than me, though, Katie, because like you also do extra stuff on the side.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like I didn't mean for my answer to be like, no, you can't. But it's
no. I agree.
I think
you're right. No, you're definitely right. Like that Tom Bancroft thing. Going back to it, like his final answer was just draw every day. And I mean, if you're not drawing every day, even if it's not even like if you're not even doing work, I don't think you're gonna get better at all. So
yeah, well, because I mean, you're working those drawing muscles, so it's like you, if you have to kind of work out a scene a couple different ways, if you haven't worked up the speed, it's gonna take you longer to do it. But I mean, I went through the same way as you, Andrew. Like I started off doing board revs, and then that helped me figure out, the timeline you need for a board. And even still, like sometimes I'm really pushing it with the deadlines. But
well, you could also. I'm doing an online boarding course right now too.
Oh, me too. What are you taking?
I'm taking the one by Rad.
Seacrest?
Yeah. I'm doing his.
Okay. Is he doing it regularly? I really love his work.
Does. I think he does like he's gonna do a couple. Okay, sorry. I think he does like we're in session right now with one, and then probably when this one's over, he takes like maybe a break, but then he has another one probably coming up again.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that. Yeah. If you guys are looking for his blog is Rad How To, and he's got a lot of really great art tips and compositional stuff, and just really good, appealing style and eye for storytelling and character posing.
Yeah, like we've only had 2 classes so far. In the first week, we were talking. He wanted to just talk about focus on camera placement, so not even like composition or I think a lot of people get worried about what their drawings look like, but that wasn't what he was concerned about. He wanted to see if you could place the camera properly, and so he gave a little assignment to do.
Yeah, I find I'm still really weak with that, especially working in a 3D show, because I'm working on a direct-to-DVD movie, so it's a 3D movie, and because it's DVD, it's got a little bit more of a budget than TV, so they want you to be more creative with the camera angle, but I'm used to a flat flash staging, so I have to kind of constantly try and shift brain gear to make it. You can put the camera anywhere now, so where do you put it to make it?
Here's what he said. Here's what he said that clarified all that to me too, because I've heard that same thing all the time, and I'm kind of like, yeah, where do I put the camera? And he said because the way animation was built from the ground up, the camera was limited to what 2D could do, right? Like I mean, even in the old Disney days, it was that big kind of that old camera system with the different levels, but it had to be shot a certain way. Now with 3D, the camera can go anywhere. So what does that mean? You have to understand the language of live action filmmaking and how the camera is positioned in certain ways. So he was showing us a grid with perspective in it and stuff, and he's like, why do we kind of look at this and see that why does this work? Because we have seen over 100 years of film where a camera has been placed on somebody's shoulder and the viewing lens has picked up what they have seen from that height, and that's why it looks normal to us. So our gut feeling is this looks right. This is a better shot because we've been exposed to so many so many other films that have done this. It's a really interesting method that he's applied to just kind of making you think like a 3D camera in animation is just live action, but you can push it a little further. It's really cool. And but he's cool. He's doing we got some really cool assignments, and like our next, this is only our second week, and we're talking now about composition now with the camera work, and it's the assignment was he's like, I want you to put Michael Jackson, Wolverine, and Ben Franklin underwater with a blender, make a story out of that. And we were just like,
oh no.
And he's like, focus on composition and camera work. Okay, bye. But online course I'm really enjoying. So, which one are you taking right now?
I'm doing one with Justin Copeland for it's part of like the Paper Wings site with like Chris Oatley in them, and it's called Films on Paper. Yeah, and it's I've been really bad with the homework just because I'm. And I mean, of course he understands. I'm working full time, and I was I was expecting to not be. I was expecting to not start work until I picked up with the Kratz. So I was expecting the last 2 months to be very free, but I just got swamped. So I'm like, I'll get the homework done later. And he's like, yeah, fine. But it's just cool to we do a lot of film study. It's stuff that I hadn't thought about ever before. Like just because when I watch movies, I kind of just watch it to be entertained.
Yeah.
But it's fun to just kind of watch it with a group of people, and then all right, let's pick apart why this works on an emotional level, why this works on.
You're right.
How does the color here make you feel? How does the staging make you feel? Like you don't know anything about these characters, but because of the way they stand, you know what's happening in the storytelling. And I find that stuff amazing. Like we were picking apart a sequence from Saving Private Ryan where I was just like, like I hadn't thought about the different levels of the scene that, you know, watching it you feel the story, but it's the stuff that you feel going through it. And then we look at stuff like a lot of, is it David Fincher? We're looking at different composition that different directors do, the stuff that you just wouldn't think about at all. There's like one scene from A Girl with the Dragon Tattoo where it's a sequence where she's sitting on a subway bus, and just the way it's framed, it's like everything is so caged in all these different boxes that it's just
right.
It's just the composition is a really interesting way of showing her cut off from everybody in a way that you might not think about staging it yourself, but it's like, that's such a good way to show that.
That's one of the things Brad was saying too, because he said like we're gonna go talk about the rules of filmmaking and how they're just rules, because he's like I could tell you this is how to make this a good working sequence, but then you could come at me and say, well, what about Wes Anderson? And he's like, that's a stylized choice. And,
exactly.
And how does Wes Anderson stuff relate to filmmaking, and how does it work? You know what I mean? It's interesting. Really good. I definitely recommend. Like I wasn't really interested in doing more schooling because I felt it would be very time consuming and draining. But doing the online course has really been fun, even only after 2 classes. And he just showed us, because I guess he works at DreamWorks too. He got to show us a boarding sequence that he did for Dragons 2.
Oh,
and
man.
like you just sit there and he's like, so I had to do like 50 drawings in like 40 minutes because that was my deadline that the director gave me. And you're just sort of like you see these insane camera moves, and like I'm just sort of like, how did you? We were asking like, how did you do this? Like, did you thumbnail this? And he's like, I just straight ahead like, and then I just go from there. And I was like, oh my god!
Just
like
seeing it in his head and putting it down. And
yeah, and I mean, if you've seen Dragons 1, you know all the camera shots where the dragons will kind of like fly by, go up, and the camera kind of latches onto it, and then they go up even higher, and then the dragons leave, but then the camera just sort of free falls down. And
the camera kind of moves around, and then it's like all these match cuts that you don't even see with your eyes,
exactly,
but things hook up so well. And I was studying a sequence for just the sake of studying it, and I was like, there's so many things happening here that I didn't notice when I watched it for the first time. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he's just like, you know, it just took me like 40 minutes to do that, and then he showed us a sequence from the Panda movie, Kung Fu Panda, and who's the director? She did the sequel. I forget her name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she boarded out a sequence between the panda, Po, and the big bad tiger dude that was insane. Like they were jumping on buildings and destroying things, and it was this massive fight. And someone was like, "Wow, how long would this sequence take?" Because it was like an insane amount of shots, and they were like, she did it in like 2 weeks, and it was fully toned and just it was insane. It's incredible.
That's nuts.
A bit of an addendum to the original question that led to all this. Eric saying my problem is.
I like this. I like animation time.
More I love. Shut up. No, you guys keep going. Like
No, you're the question asker. He's just
normally when I start talking about the stuff I go right, is Steven just kind of stares at me.
I got nothing. It's like me asking you about animation. I didn't ask you right about any of the E3 stuff. I'm like, are you excited for the new Mortal Kombat animation? He's like, what is Eric Had's my problem is more I love to draw, but I struggle to think of random things to draw, like how to get into the habit of drawing.
Oh, you know what? I do. A lot of times I don't always have a very... There was this pie chart I really liked that Marlo Meekins made, and it was kind of like the 3 tiers of drawing, where it's like you draw from your imagination, you study the masters, and you draw from life. So sometimes I just don't have anything in my head that I can come up with, but the best thing to do then is study from life. Just cafe sketch, draw people, draw buildings, draw interesting compositions. Just kind of, pick compositions with your eye when you're just looking down the street. Like, oh, there's 2 people talking over here by a lamppost. That looks really cool, and then you sketch that down. Or studying the masters, because that's how you get better. Like looking at, it could even be just studying the masters, like Sargent paintings or different amazing watercolors, or it could be also studying storyboards that are online already and just copying that, or studying film. You can put a movie on and just freeze frame it and draw the composition. If you don't have ideas, it's you can still work your muscles by studying. What's there.
I mean, even with your sketchbook too. This is just a page out of my sketchbook, and I mean it's garbage. Like it's just absolute crud. And I know that, but I mean I have to get from there to get better. Do you know what I mean? And that's a blank canvas is really, really intimidating, I find, because I just want to I look at all the pretty stuff online and it's like I can't draw like that yet, and then I draw on mine and I'm like, this is garbage, it's poo, and I can't make it better until I make it, keep working at it.
That's true. I mean, it's the reason I buy really crappy, cheap sketchbooks, because I'm like, I don't deserve a moleskin.
I know.
But because I have friends, my friend Megan Dong, who works at DreamWorks, she's got a sketchbook that's her comics that are beautiful watercolored, hilarious comics, and the sketchbook is like a book you can buy. It's like those Nico Marlet sketchbooks, the guy who was doing the designs for Dragon 1, where I'm like, I bet his sketchbook is actually just this perfect book that he just. But I mean, like my stuff is just a mishmash of maybe something 5 pages in will be good, and then maybe something 20 pages later will be good. But otherwise, it's just, most of my sketchbook is just figure drawing, or I don't even do a lot of background stuff. It's mostly just figures. It's just a lot of naked people, a lot of naked. Happening. But I mean, you need that for not a naked. You need that for posing, and anatomy is important. But I mean, just put the pencil to the paper.
Yeah.
Well, about that, we have someone, Maya. This question was posted a little while ago. We'll wrap up in a bit. It says, I'm a bit iffy on the advice that says draw every day. I saw pretty great artists, upcoming artists, feel pretty severe guilt over not drawing every day after a spurt of a big art workload. They felt they needed a break, but the draw every day brought guilt.
No, if you're feeling guilty, I mean, I took a 4-month hiatus from anything. I didn't really draw that much. That's important.
Weren't you tweeting all day, and you were just like, I slept on a couch, and then I slept on a bed, and then a friend's couch.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's whatever works for you, but it helps. It helps, but I mean, you shouldn't feel guilty about it if you're not drawing every single day. But it does help. You get better. But addendum to that. There's also drawing mindlessly, but then there's also drawing with a focus on stuff you're looking to fix, which can take a bit more brain power. And I mean, breaks are important. You need to take breaks, and sometimes you can take a week break. Sometimes you can take a month break and then come back at it. But like when I think about for something as crazy as storyboarding, as involved, like you kind of need to, when you're doing storyboard work, you're going to be drawing every day. So if you can get yourself up to speed before you're storyboarding full time, I think that would help. I would caution someone going in cold to be like, I don't draw too much and then doing a storyboard, because that's just going to be a crazy amount of work that you might get like kind of bulldozed over by. But I mean, not to say that that can't happen, that you suddenly just can do it. I don't know. It's whatever your method is that works.
Well, Maya just adds the draw every day thing could be worded better, since it basically means practice a lot and do work to improve, which to me seems like a better thing to say than you must draw every day. If you don't, you will fail.
Is that what I said?
I don't think so. I don't think we said like
Tom Bancroft.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, Alicia says, I have kind of the opposite problem. I worry I may be drawing a bit too much. Being on break lets me draw all day, and my both wrists are suffering. Any tips on keeping your wrists and hands drawing? Or keeping your wrists drawing?
Here's a tip. Get one of these things. It's like a gel pad, and you put it on your keyboard thing.
That's a good idea. Also, I have one of these things. It's a. I can't even see what's happening. It's a Cintiq on an arm, which lets you be more ergonomic with it. But there's stretches you can do. There's sites that'll show you like proper just ergonomic stretches for just gently stretching your arm out and taking breaks every. There was a guy that told me that you should take a break every 40 minutes, and I was like, I don't even know how to do that. Every 40 minutes, that's crazy. But I think that's accurate. Just get up, move around, stretch. Take breaks, because you gotta take care of your body, because it's if you hurt your arms, it's terrible.
Yeah, here's an oxymoron coming from me. Stay in shape, because that'll help. Which I don't.
It does, which
But
I
it's
don't
like- it's
either.
so-
but when I
but-
did, it was great.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I don't think people can tell, but my desk, my camera right now, where I'm at, I have a standing desk. I got rid of my chair because it was hurting. My nerves in my body were just they'd tingle and they'd feel weird, and I thought I was getting sick. And then I got rid of the chair, and now I just stand all day and I feel fine.
Good.
But also I couldn't afford like a Herman Miller chair, so that's why I was like, oh, I'll just stand, I guess.
I want to get one of those. Right now, I can lift the Cintiq up and I can stand, but it's still like the
Well, you wanna
ergonomics
get
is not good because my keyboard's still all the way down here. And
You want to get the Herman Miller chair, or you want to get a standing desk?
what's a Herman Miller chair? that
It's
a
like
good chair?
that's like the $1,000 chair.
Ugh. Do
yeah.
I need a $1,000 chair?
That's what I was like, man, I really I like that chair, but I don't think I can afford it, so I'll just stand up instead.
Isn't it the bouncy ball? You should just get those medicine balls and just bounce on it at your desk.
Some people can. I couldn't do it. I go nuts.
No. Oh, this chair looks amazing.
I know. Every point can be adjusted.
There's so many things you could do with $1,000, though.
Like stand
ads.
and not pay $1,000.
Here's ads. I have a wrist brace I wear when sleeping. It really, really helps. So
Yeah,
My mom
I,
has
um,
one of those.
Where's my wrist brace? I haven't actually been using it lately because I took that 4-month break, so I've been nice and relaxed. But now that I'm back to working a lot, when I was working, where did it go? Anyway, I have one. When I was working full-time doing Silly Kingdom and storyboards, I needed a wrist brace, and I just picked it up at Shoppers, and it was just basically, it's got like a bit of metal here to keep it, or here, just to keep you from, it was good. I used it at night sometimes when I was hurting. Just take breaks. Take breaks, stretch, do some yoga.
You said do 40-minute break, or sorry, no, take a break every 40 minutes.
Take a 40-minute break.
Yeah, take a 40-minute break. If you take like a kitchen egg timer that's like 60 minutes, and like just turn it to 40, keep it by your desk and work, and as soon as the ringer goes off, set it again for 10 minutes and do something for 10 minutes and then come back. I tried that for a couple of weeks. It really works. It really, really does.
That's what I did. I did 45 and 15 for my writing, and it kept it fresh enough that I can leave, know I have a break, and come back and still be excited.
What I like to do is I have I get pretty thirsty when I'm working all day. I need to be hydrated all the time. I get little cups of water, and then those run out, and then you want to go like refill and then come back and refill, so that gives you another excuse to stand up. Like you'll see people sometimes in the studio with these giant jugs, and it's like, I'm not going anywhere. Why? Why are you doing that?
Office who goes to the water refiller, and it's really slow, and they're just standing there loading it. You're like, I just want to get a bit. And then
Those
go
things
to
are
work.
always slow. Why are they always so slow? It's really
I know.
awkward.
All right, last
What kind of
question.
freezy
We gotta
was
wrap
that?
this up.
I have a question. What was that
11.
freezy?
Oh, this is a President's Choice cherry flavored freezy.
I want freezy.
Oh my god, our whole freezer is filled with them. I'm gonna be so fat this summer.
How does freezies make you fat?
It's all sugar.
Ice water.
It's all sugar though.
The sugar
Last question. From Doris.
Sugar makes you fat?
Sugar makes you fat.
Doris asks, "What's your stance on leaked material? For example, recently Legend of
Okay, I can talk about
3
this.
had some
Yeah.
app leaked via the Mexican network, and it's obviously been uploaded.
Yeah.
To Bay.
A friend of ours posted that stuff on her Facebook page, and I was like, oh, I thought it was the legitimate trailer, so I watched it, and I was like, this is pretty freaking cool, awesome, look at this. But it felt kind of weird, and it felt like it was showing a lot of weird spoilery stuff for a trailer, and then it ended up being, it was like the leaked episodes someone fan cut into a fan trailer with all the stuff that was already leaked. And I was like, I'm excited for the show, but that sucks that had to happen. And then the official trailer just came out today. Boo leaks. Why do people got to do that? It's coming out soon. Why don't you let people see it as it is? It's like when that Wolverine movie was coming out and people were showing blue screen stuff. Like, why you can't wait a year to see a full completed project? You need to steal stuff from the set and send it out there. Like, I just find it unfortunate.
Yeah, like there's
Andrew,
some
what's
weird
your stance?
excitement.
Dude, we live in a world now where they're like, hey, get ready for the teaser of the teaser of the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know.
I blame the marketing for that, not really the studio. So like my heart goes out to a studio that they're getting ready to launch something, and then someone just leaks a bunch of material that's not ready to go yet, and you're like, oh great, now this thing we were trying to reveal 4 episodes in is gonna have no punch because it's all over the networks now. So
Well,
I mean,
that's a big part that bothers me because like part of storytelling is presentation and delivering stuff in a certain order.
well, that's
and at
why
a
I don't
certain
even like
pace.
watching trailers. Just tell me a movie's good and I'll watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like when
You don't want to get let down by seeing an awesome trailer like Godzilla, and then you go see the movie.
Yeah. Frig.
Whew. Anyways, go on.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but no, it bothers me mostly because of that aspect. Like, you can talk about the legalities and stuff, but it's mostly just as a storyteller, we like to like deliver stuff in a certain way. And if someone grabs like the middle chapter and starts reading that, it's like, well, that was gonna come after. Like, what do you guys? Come on! Like, why are you doing this?
I mean,
So,
if you do it intentionally, like say, sneak peeks of the next Silly Kingdom, but like when people steal it from a studio, or I don't know what happened with the Spanish.
It was a network thing.
They just
network thing.
yeah, like they had it, but they weren't supposed to air it for a while, or yikes. I don't know.
It's hard in this day and age, you know.
I mean, everything's so connected now. It's like anybody with a phone on set could just be recording. So I don't know what you do as a.
Well, that's like anything filmed in New York. You see basically all the Avengers fight scenes happening from some guy's window, and you're like, "This movie looks awesome."
Okay, but the thing about that though is, I guess it's like maybe it's just kind of something that's going to happen, and you don't have to look for it if you don't want to. It's just with the nature of the internet. Like our friend posts all this stuff on the Facebook, and I'm like, oh. What? Okay, I guess this is now spoiled because it's in my feed. So it's just don't go on the internet. Don't ever go on the internet.
If it's filmed, and I mean, if it's some guy filming it from an office or taking pictures from a certain angle, yeah, okay, they may have gotten a look of what it's gonna be like, but it's not gonna be the final true camera composition that has been chosen to best represent it. So you might see like, hey, there goes Captain America running around, but then when you see the actual sequence, it's like, oh wow, that actually really blew me away, even though I kind of knew what was happening. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know.
You're watching it from like a security camera the whole time. Like, oh, this doesn't look very exciting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Quickly before we end, Tony adds, heads up, Joanne is making more amazing comics.
Woo, I know, I retumbled it. This is this is an exciting day for comics. Yep.
RUFFTON at Tumblr, and you can find a lot of How to Train Your Dragon comics there.
Yeah, Rough Tune. There is a How to Train Your Dragon art show happening at Gallery Nucleus in LA. I think this weekend. So it's a bunch of people who worked on the show or making amazing art for it. And Joanne Matt, because she's incredibly amazing and does storyboards full time and comics on the side that are also great, she made a comic for the art show. So she's posting it on her Tumblr
cool.
right now. So she's been posting a couple pages. So again, you can find her at Rough Tune, and she's just incredible. Oh my god.
Cool. Well, that's about wraps everything up. I know there's some other questions popping up, but this is going to keep us out here so long. Basically, stretch if you're working at the computer all the time, at least once an hour. Do your body a good.
Do take breaks, and you know it's again like listening to yourself. I mean, if the advice is you must draw every day until your hands bleed, and you don't feel like doing that, it's your life. Like don't do that. That might work for someone. That might not work for you. Take breaks. Enjoy life. You know.
There was a guy at DreamWorks who went in there every day, and he needed to get a certain amount of work done, so he always kind of worked with the idea that he was being watched with a security camera. This is himself. He was like, I'm going to think in these terms, and he overworked himself, and he had to take a medical leave.
I've heard that.
So even the professionals are like, you know, they don't even know.
Pressure. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, a company would love it if you just kept going like 24 hours a day. Of course they would. But you have to take care of yourself because no one else can tell you how you're feeling. If your arm is hurting, if you're exhausted, maybe you need to take that break. Maybe you just need to go read a book and relax. You know, it should still be fun. I mean, it's artwork, but it should still be fun.
Well, a good way to relax is to go to some of these upcoming events.
There's
June
events.
13th, kicking off Taffy, the Toronto Animation Festival International. There's going to be panels there. As Chris wrote in his post a while ago, I've been wanting to say this, but need a segue. Chris writes, I'm going to a panel thanks to homoerotic fan art of guys with pencils.
Thank you, Chris, for that.
I didn't see that.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we put out a contest. Yeah, I know. We were just like, draw a picture of us, make it funny. And then for some reason that trans like, oh my god, let's put them in bed together. Like every drawing.
Are these all on your Tumblr?
That's how you sell your brand.
No, you have to look on our Twitter for it, I think. Don't do it.
Oh yeah.
Don't do it.
Is it Adam's Twitter?
Both of ours.
That's coming. Happy's coming up this week in Toronto, down by the water in the animation studios and the George Brown or whatever the schools. Humber, I don't know, something like that. Check that out.
George Brown.
George Brown. You send them all out to Humber. I thought Taffy was happening out here.
Check the website
The guy
for
with
the
the beer
details.
told me.
June 14th, the day after, we got the late night Toon Tease. If you like your burlesque and you like it closer to what's in your heart, like cartoons, you're going to want to check that out. People dressed up as your favorite characters and being less dressed up by the end of the performance. At the Randolph Theater, 8 p.m. Check that out. Still coming up on June 21st, Steam on Queen. Are you a steampunk? Are you in Toronto? Well, there you go. Steam on Queen is happening at the Campbell House, 11 a.m., June 21st. And on July 11th, Atomic Lollipop at the Ontario Science Centre this year. It used to be up at the airport, but now it's like the way other direction, I think. Double check that too, of course, just in case I'm wrong. But then you can learn a thing or two and like anime at the same time. The Science Center, minds. That's their motto. Thank you, Andrew Murray.
Oh, thanks for having me, by the way. That was
Andrew Murray, thanks for being on the show. One last favor.
So when are your panels, Andrew Murray?
So we'll be. I think we're going to be also at the bouncing ball party, just schmoozing and mingling and stuff. But
You have to go to that.
but the panels will be on Saturday the 14th. The Bee and Puppy Cat one with Natasha Allegri is going to be at 11:30 in the Chorus building. The same day with Steven Silver on how to not get screwed, and I'm assuming that's all like about not getting screwed in the business. But it's like from 4:30 to 5:30 on the Saturday as well, and then on the 15th. The day after on the Sunday, we have a talk at 11:30 with Jessica, Steve Silver, and Dave Cooper about character design.
Cool. Sounds like a strong show. You guys want to go to those? And do they have to get tickets to go to these panels? How's that work for everyone?
I do believe so. They have to go onto the Taffy website and select those specific ones on those days. So
TAAFI.
What?
I want to learn a thing or two about animation. Also, there's going to be a lot of tables this year. There's going to be a market for creators and comics. Check us out. We'll be there with stuff, the stuff we usually have, and you can have it too, because it'll be there. Quick question for Andrew Murray. Andrew Murray, what's the website? Now, a lot of people they want their kingdoms a little sillier these days. What website could they possibly go to find out more about how to make their kingdom silly?
Are you making Andrew do our promotion?
Yes.
They could go to Shanahanigans.com.
Well, close. What's the other one?
Well, I don't know. I own the book, so you can't criticize me for not knowing everything. And if anything, it's your fault that you don't have Shanahanigans.com.
No, we do.
We do.
Well, then promote it on
It's just
there.
really hard to
Get
promote.
in there. We're doing Silly Kingdom first. Then we do the make site.
Why don't you have Silly Kingdom on the website?
They're on, well, it's links, but we just have two separate websites.
This is madness. Just
Silly
madness.
Kingdom.
We are still figuring this stuff out.
Avoid the madness.
You guys
The word is out from Andrew Murray says.
Go to GWP Podcast and find the links. While you're there, listen to some great episodes.
Get yourself a book. Pre-order the new one coming out, Silly Kingdom, A New Steed Indeed. Check out the information there. Go to SillyKingdom.com. If you want the Shanahanigans book collecting all the Shrub Monkeys, you want to go to Shanahanigans, spell like it sounds, S-H-A-N.
AHAN.
Andrew?
Use the promo code GWP.
I-G-A-N.
And get it.
You've watched this show. You know what we do.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so brother, Shaggy, if I want to listen to some podcasts about some guys with pencils, where should I go to listen to this
Let me
podcast?
tell you want to go to SillyKingdom.com and order a copy of Silly Kingdom. Alec Richard's 211th birthday. But while you're at it, you can listen to the sweet, sweet voices of our guest, Andrew Murray, and as well as Adam Hines. The guys with pencils in a bed, or I forget what was going on with the bed.
Wow. Oh boy.
You want to check that out.
It's all audio, so
You can listen to your first.
You can see whatever you want to see.
Your first episode 42.
was
if you want to go
42.
back, yeah, 42.
Good number.
So
Good number.
go back to that.
42.
Check that one out. Yeah. So thanks for having me on tonight. That was great.
You can look for
Yeah,
Andrew on the
Procrastinated
Tumblr.
by my work, so I mean.
I know. I'm sorry we kept you from doing work stuff.
No,
Really,
it's fine.
you could
No,
work
I
if
don't
you were
work.
working.
Look up Guys with Pencils or GWPs on the websites, and you'll find the podcast. Can they be subscribed to fairly easily so people can listen more?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's a
I think so.
Tumblr, so
It's on.
Tumblr
I think so.
person
It's a
can-
Tumblr, and you can go on iTunes.
Sure.
You can show almost 200 episodes. I still don't know what the hell we're doing.
What are we? 129? Is that what it says?
We're getting there. We're 129.
Oh, boy.
We're working on it. We're almost there. We're almost at 130. We'll enjoy that. Thank you for joining us on the show. It's late night for us. It's almost 11:30.
Whoa, I need to get to
Oh my gosh.
Check out all your E3 coverage. It's been a really exciting week, but get back to work after you're done. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week, usually Tuesdays around 8, maybe 9, or maybe Wednesdays between 8 and 9 at some points. This has been Shanahanigans Live. See you guys next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.